I'm sure.
You're right.
All right, we will open this meeting of Selectmen's on December 4th, 2014. Let the record show everyone is here except Selectman Scanlon, who will be calling in on his drive home. And he'll be on speaker until he arrives here in Tilton. So, first on our agenda, Selectmen's reports. What a busy night. Whoops.
Make it happen.
I know. Busy night. All right. Catherine has a huge load. Do you want to go first, Catherine? Or, I mean, she's got maybe...
Yeah, I gotta bring up my thing here before I get to my...
All right, you want to go?
No, I have to get this thing powered up
Oh, okay.
first.
So, Catherine, go ahead.
Well, a lot of my stuff is really going to be in response to other people's. I think it's just it's old news. Upfill on the Manville Road Survey. I talked to Dave Krause yesterday, and I'm going to meet with him Saturday morning here and gave him some information. And he thought he was looking for a road right-of-way. And then I told him we actually had deeds to property, that they were actually two deeds, and then we had a petition from the residents, which is now Crystal Lane, to build the road there. And he did agree that he'd have to readdress his price, because what we're actually asking him to do is much more than...
Right.
So when I meet with him Saturday, my intention is to give him the information, have him come back to me with an estimate, and then I'll bring it here, of course. My question is, I've read the deeds a couple of times now. It goes from the Daniel Webster Highway all the way to the high water mark of the Winnipesaukee River. Do we want him to do the boundary from the whole length of it?
Can you get a price for both?
Okay, if I get a price for both, how much do you want it reduced?
Half. I don't want to pay any more than we have to, but I think it's important we find out, at least up there in the area of 3M and those trees. The trees, I was up there looking at those trees pretty closely, and they're leaning in funny directions. One of them snapped off, and it snapped
Thank
off.
God it went the other way.
Yeah, it went the other way, but my understanding of the deed is that all of those pine trees are going to be on our property.
It depends on where the road lies. Certainly if that road lies in the middle of that property, I would say, yes, you're right.
So you're saying that it goes from Mansville Road, from the beginning of Manville down to...
It's described as going from, oh, here it is. From the Daniel Webster Highway.
Okay, that's Route 3, right?
Yeah.
Route 3 and 11.
So much information.
Route 3, Daniel Webster Highway.
I don't know if these go all the way or not. To, this one, it doesn't go to the high water mark. I think it does go from Daniel Webster Highway, though. Okay, fingers, do the walking. I had to do it in sections. Pavement. Okay. So here's a section, Daniel Webster Highway, railroad tracks. Here is a section of it. All right. And then it continues on. There's
Okay.
the B&M.
Yeah.
Here is the Belmont line.
Yeah.
I think that's the beginning of the marsh. And then there's the marsh. And the entrance up to, it's not Manville anymore, what is that factory?
3M.
3M is somewhere in here. Now, our deed continues on and describes it to the high water mark of the Winnipesaukee River.
So is that down by Crystal Lane?
Well, interestingly enough, Crystal Lane ends at Silver Lake Road, at Silver Lake.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, our property, if you will, would be as you face the lake to the right, because that's where the river is.
We need to know where,
Silver Lake
I
is,
think we need to know where our property is.
Okay.
I would,
we need to know where it
I
is.
think we really need to know what our property is down
and
there.
where our responsibility lies for
I
that
think we should know
property.
that.
You know, I was inclined to think that if we went from, somewhere, maybe from that second corner, not the first as you come out of Route 3, across the tracks in the sharp corner, but then the next corner,
I
the
think A to
right-hand
Z
corner. I was thinking from there to the lake, but the price is probably going to be insignificant. And if it's 60 feet wide, 60 or 66 feet wide, I don't remember, I've read too much of it. 66 feet wide.
So that's 33 from the center line.
If it's 66 feet wide, all the way to the Daniel Webster Highway, then Valvoline's mowing our lawn, and so isn't Clough.
Not just that, any number of different people have got
66
problems.
feet.
This could open up a whole can of worms, and
We
what
need
do
to
we
know
want to
what-
do with that?
We need to
But
know
it would
where
give
we are.
us the information to know, okay, if Valvoline is mowing our lawn, do we care? No, makes it look nice, it's maintaining it. But if we ever had to ditch or do anything like we're talking about now, we would know where our boundaries were and be able to go in and do the work without any
Does
other.
allowing Clough and Valvoline and all the rest of the people that might be affected by this, access to this property, does that grandfather them?
No.
Well, we thought it was ours, so all of a sudden they've got a shed on it, now what?
No, there's the
No, that
deed.
doesn't pertain to municipal property. I know what you're talking about. I often
Fences.
walk the boundary of, we have a lot of timberland, just
Yeah,
no houses, nobody lives on it.
Yep.
And we walk the boundaries because of the, it's not homesteader, but it kind of is. Anyway,
Squatters.
Squatters' rights.
Thank you.
Squatters' rights.
No, it doesn't pertain to municipalities, but I think that our responsibility would be, once we define and know exactly where our boundaries were, would to notify the abutters to it.
and let them know what's going
Know
on.
I think we should know where our bounds lie.
that this is our bound and they're on our property.
I think we should.
I just think that we should do that.
Well, I'll make a motion to that effect, that we have Dave Krause check out our entire boundary.
We still don't know how much that's gonna cost us. If he comes back with a
Yeah, let me get-
$15,000, well, it's gonna cost you 15 grand, we have to talk about this
Let me
again.
get the estimate, and if you want,
I get you, but we'll need to put it in put it in our budget next year, because we
I
have to
agree,
do it.
I agree. In the short term, we need to know about that one
Drainage.
section for the drainage and potentially the trees.
so I'll ask.
But get it both ways is my suggestion, anyway.
I can have him,
What is his name, Catherine?
Dave,
Dave Krause?
Krause,
Krause,
yes.
if we're going to ask him to just look at a section of it, I would suggest somewhere, and I don't know, it's going to be wherever that marker is on the print, beyond the, probably near, right, I can't even talk, M&B property, somewhere in there, in that first corner coming up.
Okay.
And I think we should go all the way to the lake, though,
right, so-
regardless of what we do.
I think
So
you
we'll
should start
put-
from Route 3 is where you should start.
Put this under old business for next week, and then we'll have an answer on it.
Hopefully. I'll tell him we need the estimate as soon as he can, because we're budgeting.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was what's happening with the Tilton Field lights. I know their football season is probably over with, but they talked about using it for winter events. They're going to have to come to the Board of Selectmen to get that permission. But I don't want to leave that lie just because they're done football. There was a continuous problem with the lights.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what your thoughts are, but
No,
What problem was there with the lights?
are the field lights at the Tilton School?
Oh,
if it hasn't been corrected, then we're not.
I'm thinking you're talking about 132, I'm sorry.
If we,
Well, it
if,
says
there's-
ball field, but
Oh,
It's-
no, I'm sorry, the football field.
Oh, no,
Tilton-
no.
Tilton
We
Prep
have to
School
do
field.
something about the Tilton
I don't want to wait until next
Nope.
fall when they start their football season again, and then it goes through the whole season, and well, we're done.
Dari was supposed to send them another email to ask what the specifications were on the prior one of the contract lighting tests that they did. And Peter was out of town at the time. I think we should follow up on it. We can't let our residents just
No.
let it go. I mean, that's not fair to them.
If they don't
If
fix
you
it,
look
they
at
don't
what
get
was
permission.
proposed to the planning board, it was 0
Yep.
before it reached private property, which
Right.
we all kind of stood there and went, yeah, right. When I'm coming down 93, I can see the lights of exit 20, and I'm a mile away.
Can we at least, Catherine, do you think that we could contact them and ask them for a schedule of the night
Winter games or...
winter games or whatever? Because we would,
They should be able to send that to us.
and then forward it to the board so we can have it prior to
Thursday?
Thursday's meeting?
Schedule.
Because if one of us can
evening
attend one of
games
those evening games, we can go up by Daniel Drive and actually,
And see what's
Right.
going on, yeah. Okay.
Tanis Gates is,
We should collect whatever data they have available as to, I'm going to call it the light pollution.
I'm adding John Scanlon on. It's 3:45.
3:45?
Please tell me on this agenda.
Hi, John. Hi,
Oh,
John.
My word, it's not on the agenda.
Okay. We're talking about Tilton School. We're going to follow up on the lighting there. We've asked for, Catherine's going to send a note out to get a schedule for the games and follow up with Peter Salivas on the contract lighting testing. We have to follow up on that.
Okay,
And then Catherine's going over her list right now.
okay.
It's not on this agenda to accept the gifts and donations we've received.
That was
No,
on Monday.
that's on your list.
It has to be on the agenda, per RSA.
There's no way we can take it up under other business.
It has to be, the
It's on
RSA
Monday's
specifically
agenda.
says you have to put it on the agenda. That's why I asked for it to be on the agenda.
Which one?
But Catherine wasn't here when I asked.
But I thought it was for Mondays, because Joyce put it on, she did.
Well,
I
she
know.
did put it on Monday's agenda. We delayed it. I delayed it and said we'd take it up on Thursday.
Right, we had a conversation, and we weren't sure if we could just blanketly say, or if we had to itemize each gift and donation. So we told, I'm pretty sure we told Joyce to put it on the agenda for Thursday. I'm almost positive we did.
Yeah, we didn't,
And without it on the agenda,
Can't accept
the
it.
RSA specifically says it has to be posted on the agenda.
Well, there was
So I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we've got gifts and donations.
Can we do it next week, or could, at next week's meeting?
We're going to have to, I guess. If anybody objects, at least we can show we posted it on Mondays. And a human error was made.
This does not preclude us from
the raffle.
accepting some of
They've
this
already been
stuff.
accepted.
They've already been accepted. These are for the raffle items that they're raffling off to
I don't
offset the
believe we've
fireworks.
ever had on the agenda accepting donations, and yet
Ever.
we have accepted donations.
That is
We
true.
have.
That is true.
Yeah,
We have.
we have.
Oh, I know we have.
I know we
The
have.
RSA is specific.
but
What
we've
are
done
I
it.
say? Just out of curiosity.
I'll have to look it up again.
Not that I doubt you, but I
I'll
just,
look it up.
I'd never.
It's good to know because we
Actually,
have the
I
same...
doubted it.
We have
and I
the
looked it
same situation with the senior center, and we have donations there that we use for raffle items.
The rest of these things, it'd be, if John needs to be here.
Okay.
For me really to, they have to, and some of them have to do with the budget, there's a couple purchases,
Okay,
da-da-da-da. So, somebody else wants to go ahead, I'll save these for that, and I'll look up the RSA.
okay. Joe, you got...
Yeah,
you all
I'm
set?
ready. The cooperative had an operating committee meeting, and their budget is set. I dropped it off the other day here. I don't know if you've looked at it or not, but comes up to $65 a ton. The administrative fee remains the same. Our GAT is cut in half. We're actually over 50% less MSW than last year. We haven't submitted the GAT figures to the co-op yet. That doesn't have to be done until the end of the year. And I talked with Dennis. He's putting those figures together. The meeting is to vote on the actual budget. Will be next Thursday evening at the Bow Town Hall Municipal Building down there in Bow. Thursdays are bad for me. I talked to Dennis. Dennis has something he can't get out of on Thursday night. I extended a question through Dennis to see if Arthur could go and vote in our place, Dennis in my place. Jim Pressure has no problem, but we need to establish, A, Arthur is an alternate, and B, that we're in favor of lowering the fee to $65 a ton. That's a savings of $3.80 per ton to the town of Tilton. Right off the top for the stuff we bring. I requested that Dennis estimate his gross annual tonnage pretty much as close as he can to reality. Don't pump it up. If he's excessive about it, then we have to pay the administrative fee for every ton of garbage, whether we bring it or not. But if we underestimated it a little bit, we don't pay any penalties, you know what I mean? So if we had 2,000 tons last year of residential MSW, and this year we put it down as 975 tons, and it turns out to be 1,000. We're going to pay the administrative fee for the 25 tons. But if it turned out to be 1,050, then we're going to pay 50 times 15 for nothing. You see, so our gross annual tonnage should be reflecting reality, truly. And that would go for commercial as well.
Yeah.
If they bring more, they end up paying that fee for the tonnage that they bring in. Now, I'm not saying they cut it by 75%, because the co-op realistically needs to know how they can plan their budget, how much money is coming in, and how much we realistically expect to bring. But jacking our number up potentially costs us money. I don't have the figure from Dennis yet. So that's my co-op thing. So I would make a motion to appoint Arthur Damas as a alternate for the co-op joint board.
Second?
For the sake of discussion, John, are you okay making this decision via the speaker? Okay,
That sounds good.
okay.
Has Arthur been approached?
Yes.
So Arthur's okay with it?
Pardon me, Arthur's okay with that. Whether he can be there Thursday or not remains to be seen.
Okay. I'll call the question. All those in favor of appointing Arthur Damas as an alternate to the co-op?
Aye.
Aye. John?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
thank you.
So
will-
far, we got 2 votes.
And we'll work out who's actually going to be there. I don't know what our next Thursday looks like, but not having me here just to go and vote the budget, hopefully Arthur's going to be able to go.
I think later on during the evening, we'll probably determine what we have for a load next week. It's finishing up the budget, see how far we can get with the finance and admin today,
Okay.
whether or not, and then the following week, we present to the budget. So we'll just see how far we get today, and that will determine next week.
Okay. The children's auction is going to be next week, the WRNH Children's Auction, starting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's going to be on Lakes Region Public Access from start to finish. It'll also be on Channel 56, which is WBIN, who is the parent company of WRNH, who sponsors the auction. So during prime time, it'll be on that station as well. The Santa Parade, I don't know whether you've announced this or not, but is this Saturday, and that commences at 4:30?
4:30, right?
Lineup is at 3:30, I believe, and the parade is going to start, I think, at 4:15. It's on the website.
Okay, so 4:15, 4:30, it's on the website. Candy for the kiddies. Santa and Mrs. Claus are going to be up at Riverfront Park afterwards, and we're going to have a heck of a fireworks display,
Hopefully.
hopefully, weather permitting, at dark. And something has come to my attention, and I am just so, I want to make this a public statement. Island Park, the downtown area here, our Christmas decorations are being vandalized. They're pulling bulbs out of the gazebo over on Island Park.
Really?
Yes, they're cutting the wires of icicles. They cut some wires on the tree one of the trees downtown. It's like, I hope that somebody should catch the people that are doing this. And if there's any sort of surveillance that we could set up, as much as I hate to say that, I would love to catch somebody doing that and bring the fullest extent of the law into it. That is the lowest form of scum I could think of. And that's for public record. Then, the ice rink. We're going to be setting up the ice rink on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. at the Route 132 ball field. All volunteers are totally welcome to come and help us set it up. We're going to flood it, and there's going to be ice skating 7 days a week, as long as the cold weather,
Thank you.
there'll be no skating if it turns into the Route 132 pond. But I just wanted you to know that as well. I'd really love to see the ice skating rink get a workout, and that will take care of me.
The RSA you're looking for is 3195B, and it's less than 5,000, so it says, "The Board of Selectmen may establish the amount of unanticipated funds required for notice under this subparagraph, provided such amount is less than 5,000. For unanticipated monies, an amount..." Wait a minute. Yes, here it is. "The Board of Selectmen shall post notice of the funds in the agenda, and and such shall include in the minutes of the Board of Selectmen meeting in which such monies are discussed. The acceptance of unanticipated monies under this subparagraph shall be made in public session of any regular Board of Selectmen meeting." So unfortunately, it has to be in the agenda. So we'll have to make sure next Thursday
General Covenant.
that it's in the agenda.
Yep.
Does it have to be listed, all of them?
I don't think so. I think for
just a total?
unanticipated monies, notice of the funds, I think
They were unanticipated.
Just acceptance of
they're
gifts.
unanticipated.
How would you know to put it on
Donation.
the agenda?
Unanticipated monies
have a
for the
schedule.
town are anything other than taxes.
Sale of
Right.
property,
normal-
yeah, all right.
Right.
Okay.
So when you list it, just make sure you say gifts and donations for the Christmas event.
Thank you.
And if we get any other ones before that, for the next meeting, that's what they are.
Because quite frankly, some will come in still Friday and Saturday anyway, so.
Now that you put the grape in your mouth, do you have anything to say? Okay. On my list of things to say, I'll wait to talk about the Christmas party when John gets here. And I wait for the storm event when the chief and Dennis are here. Christmas parade, Joe already spoke about. The senior center craft fair that was held this past weekend at the Agway, spearheaded by our best fundraisers, Emily LaPlante and Iris Iano. We raised just shy of $1,700 total. So thank you, everybody, for their support. Those that were vendors and those that came to support the vendors. That was wonderful. I had asked Tim, I don't know if he's got the numbers yet for us, I had asked him for numbers on surveillance cameras for Riverfront Place. Remember, we had talked about it, and we said that within a reason we could possibly do that, and encumbered money for Riverfront Place where it's being vandalized.
Okay, interject 1 second. Why can't we put the fence back up in front of that bridge over here to block it off?
The bridge.
The bridge.
The island
So they're
park.
going to block the island off so they can't go over there. And
We
cut the
do
lights.
close the island during the winter months. We don't keep it open.
Then we should be blocking it off now. We're not going to keep replacing lights because, as you
They're going
put
to
it
go
so
over the
nicely, the
bridge.
scumbags keep cutting them.
Scumbags keep cutting the wire.
Go over the gate. You put a gate there, they're going to go over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what
it.
kind of a gate would you have to have
I'd
to
take
keep them out?
I'd take some, I don't know, what do you think, number 5, number 6 rebar?
Yeah,
And I'd cut it, and I'd weld it, and I'd make myself, looks like a
fence.
wrought iron gate. And I'd make it 6 feet high. And
So
I'd
they
make it
have
with
to
the
crawl
slots
over it.
like this, so that
Something's
they
wrong.
can't climb over it.
The fact that we even have to consider doing that
it's
just
stupid.
disgusts me.
Well,
I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
It's an
We'd have
option.
to get with,
To have a
I
gate.
think, with Northfield before we made that choice.
Yes, we do.
yeah, we let them know before we close the island.
Well, that we were gonna completely
Gate it.
gate it.
Yeah.
That would have to be a mutual decision, I would think.
All right. Is Tim coming up, or is he not?
He's still working on payables. He'll be up.
Really wanted those figures. So we'll have to wait on that. The other thing I was going to bring up was the minutes in the Selectmen's meeting. Minutes are behind. My recommendation at this point would be to ask Eliza to come in. I've spoken to her, and she's more than willing to do that. My personal recommendation at this time, because we know the circumstances surrounding everything, that we ask Eliza to come in to take the minutes and do them at home each week. We'll have them every week, and possibly do it from now until March. That would be my recommendation, and then we get it done, and it takes quite a burden off of the
Is that
downstairs.
the form of a motion?
And I will make that in the form of a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Did you hear that, John?
Yeah, I didn't know what the circumstances were, though.
Well, I made a second so we could kind of discuss. Every year during budgeting season, we get behind in minutes because they take low priority over everything else that we do. And this isn't the first time that we have done this.
One of the other reasons, John, is that with the tax season that comes in, there's a lot of people that come in, and there's tons of interruptions downstairs, tons of interruptions. So that when you're trying to do the minutes and working, and you're in and out, in and out, in and out, this is the very busiest time, not only with just residents that come in, but selectmen are busy, and they're always looking for something. So it's very difficult trying to juggle both, and we've got into this situation the last couple of years. Last year, it was last year or the year before? I think the year before we used Eliza, and it worked out just fine to get over the hump, and it was until February or March, and it worked out.
Okay.
Because we're going to have to start compiling our annual report here soon.
Right. That's another thing. And we do that in-house to save money, so that takes all of us. That will take all of us to do. All right? Any more discussion? Or, do you have anything else to say, John?
No, that's it.
Okay. All those in favor of my motion?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. So that's a done deal. The next thing is the Christmas party, the annual Christmas party here. Last year, we set a figure, an amount, and they went to different entities in town and got a mixture of different foods
Which is
and
the,
invited the PD, the highway, town hall.
that's a fair thing to do.
Yep.
You shouldn't take from one entity in town and you should take it from everybody.
No, I think it worked out really nice the way you did it. And if we just give you a flat amount to use for the Christmas party, John, and that's usually the day before Christmas, around noon time, and we have, something here at Town Hall, and then they go home after that. It's around noonish, right?
Correct.
The PD comes straggling in, but
Depends on
what's going
If
on.
we had it during a shift change at the PD, would it be easier for some of them to attend?
Getting off and going in. They can hit it going in and then hit it coming off.
Because they, and I know it's, they're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but they usually, very few of them can attend.
So then you would be putting it out to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, I don't know when the shift changes.
That's,
3 o'clock.
yeah, 3. 7 to 3, 3 to 11.
I just want to do it at 7. The Pat ain't getting out of bed.
Oh, then it makes sense, okay. Never mind. I was just thinking.
Once, and I've already used it up this year.
Okay.
So it's,
And I was there.
But on the 24th, is that
well,
correct?
I think we're still discussing it. It would be the 24th.
Okay.
Usually that's when we have it, the 24th, the time, I think, is what we're discussing.
Okay.
To try to encumber everybody
I'm fine with the time.
involved. Okay.
No.
What do we want to, did you take a look and see what we spent last year total?
No, I forgot to
On the
ask
food?
Tim. I'll have to get that for
Was it
Luann.
$750
I
or
have the menu,
$800?
but I didn't have the price. I
Okay.
didn't have the amount. I could run downstairs and ask Tim. It'll only take a minute.
Okay, if you can do that, that would be great, and we can just keep moving on.
Okay, Joyce has to go down and get her stuff
Get
from
my
her
mouse.
computer. He could get what we spent last year, Joyce.
Last year. All right, so we'll move on to John, do you have anything on the agenda? Did you have anything that you wanted to talk about?
Well, one of the things is I was hoping that maybe we could get the minutes, like 24 hours before the meeting, so we could review them at home and, have be prepared when we come in, instead of reading when we get there.
I think that this will resolve the issue. I think we'll have what Eliza will do is take the minutes, on a Friday or the weekend, and then forward them to us
Yeah,
when we get the minutes, and I think you'll see that there'll be a difference. And then Joyce will still do the non-public minutes.
Yeah.
And what we've done with the non-public minutes, as they become available to us, we look at the non-publics in the sealed envelope and then initial our name
Sure, yeah.
on the...
That can stop during the week.
Right.
Yep, that sounds good.
So that's a plan. I think that will that'll take a big chunk out of waiting.
Yeah, the only other thing was you can go over what went on at the budget committee last night. I guess Red Cross and New Beginnings didn't make it. We just put that off, so.
And they're waiting on the Pines. They've made a decision to table their decision on the Pines because they really wanted to wait and to see what Northfield, and Northfield's just begun their budget process.
John, where are we on the
Because Dennis is on
flagpole
the
for
budget
the
committee.
island?
Well, I said we were putting that off till spring, but I discussed it with Arthur. We got the diameters, the pole, and I've got some information on lights, as well as a box that could be welded onto it where the buckle where you put the halyards on, and that would lock it up, and then that way it could go up and down, and it would be pretty inexpensive fix for it, and it would look good. But I'll have the details, more towards spring, so we can put it up in the spring when the snow's
Well, we
gone.
shouldn't wait until then because we want to be able to have a decision and put it up in the spring.
Can you bring the information next week so that we can make a decision to do it?
Yeah,
So I get, what Catherine's saying is we need to make a decision, make sure that there's money in the budget, and then go ahead and do it so that it's a done deal, and do it in the spring. So Highway can put
Okay.
it on their task. Right?
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So that's a old business as well, yep. So the flag. We're keeping track of the old business because they're catching up to us.
Do we know the status of the ADA space in the Mechanic Street parking lot?
I think
Anybody?
that would be a,
Has that on her,
Okay.
right,
report? Yeah.
I think she
I
does.
saw that.
We
We
also,
have the trash on the agenda for tonight.
The
Trash
what?
ordinance.
the trash ordinance is not on the agenda for tonight.
No, I thought we'd wait. We've gone this long without it. We can wait until after we finalize the budget.
Okay.
We should wrap up the budget in the next couple of weeks, so I'm hopeful anyway. The,
Yeah.
does Joyce have the hauler on her agenda?
Yes,
Or should I
she does.
bring that up?
She has it on hers, Empire Recycling License. It's on her agenda. Because she has a whole packet of information. And I put some things in there
Those
for
are
the
the
board
what?
to look at.
All right.
She should be back up any minute.
I'll fill it, you shall let it, right?
Yes, it's, I got that. I had it on my list to discuss. I know about it, but I'm not going to bring it up. We have an extra non-public in with the 445. It's personnel that will be coming in. It will be PD personnel to add to the agenda. Also, I guess I really wanted to wait till the Dennis and the chief came in. John, I wanted to talk about the weekend and the storm, because this is our first opportunity to talk about that, but I'm going to wait until Dennis and the chief are both here, and they'll be coming just about 4:45.
I have an FYI topic we can all be thinking about.
Okay.
Here comes Joyce.
The impound yard that the police and I were working on,
Oh, yeah.
I've talked to him, and we have an estimate for the concrete work. And I talked to him, we don't have to go, and he has an estimate for asphalt. The least expensive way to go is going to be to have the site prepared, some gravel brought in, compacted, and throw some crushed stone on top. The crushed stone is going to keep anything that's in their cars, whatever, clean from rain. There's not going to be any dirt to splash up on them. And then put the fence up and secure it. And the idea is to make it big enough so that their storage trailer could go over there, which is going to free up parking at the PD.
I thought the impound was about the impounded cars and whatnot that they might take in.
That's right. That's like-
Crushed stone won't prevent a busted radiator from leaking into the ground, would it?
No, but they could put a,
What we spent.
Membrane,
they could, yeah, thank you. They could still put a
650. Oh, good.
a membrane
rubber membrane.
between the gravel and the crushed stone.
Joyce, this was.
They'd have to do something because I look over at Rusty's and the accidents and just the state of some of those cars. I don't know exactly what he's got underneath there, but I know he's got a solid barrier, not gravel.
He has stone.
I got it, that's my fault. I
I
don't-
thought it was
I'm pretty
cement.
sure that's stone.
In the gate, in that fenced area?
Yeah.
That's concrete.
It is concrete? Thank
Pretty
God.
sure. It's right beside the river. How could they
Hey,
just,
I own the property, I don't know.
yeah,
the
you
last
know
time-
what? You should know.
Concrete.
My
No, I
brother
would recommend
manages
a
it.
membrane there. So
At the very least, it needs to be impermeable.
it's still going to be
What we're
a
trying to
huge...
get, what we're trying to do is get a budgeting figure.
Right.
So hopefully by next week, I'll
Okay.
have the high, which is concrete, and then the low, which is membrane and dirt. and fence.
Okay.
Because the other thing too is that if they were brought into the front part of the town garage, they could be assessed for leakage before they're put up there. But that would be a
Anything that
pain.
goes up there should be put in.
Right. but then
assessed for
Anything
leakage.
can take place after it's up there.
That's true. Especially with some of the vandals we have in this town.
So Catherine, do you want to put down on old business, the impound lot for next week? Thanks. You okay with that, John, or you have anything to say?
That's all good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, last year's amount was just about 650. I'll make a motion that we, 700.
Second.
And then Catherine and Joyce, that you go to the different vendor, go to the different,
Same three that we did last year, is that okay?
no, it's whatever you folks want, it's your party.
And I'll cry if I want to.
That was the biggest one.
Okay, is there any questions, concerns, or you want to vote on the motion? We'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
We're having it here?
I'm in favor.
Okay, Joe,
Unanimous.
everybody's in favor.
Unanimous.
We're gonna have it here again?
Here at Town Hall, on the 24th, noon,
Till the wheels fall off,
till the wheels fall off.
I think we should
or
have Christmas
3:30,
music
whichever
playing.
comes first.
Yes, Christmas music.
We said that last year.
You know what,
Who's in charge of music?
I mean, if Tim can,
That'll make the wheel fall off.
if Tim can hook it up to
Keep
the
showing me that.
Bose, yeah, I have Sirius on my,
That would be.
Sirius XM, on my phone.
Can we get Santa Claus to come?
Oh, come on now.
Oh,
I can dress as Santa Claus, we can do that.
Oh,
Joe's got the beard.
yeah.
Make a Grinch.
I'll put on a hat and you can sit in my lap.
Now, that would be a photo.
Joyce.
If I
Excuse me.
survive the night.
I wasn't going to comment on that one, but
All right.
thank you, Joe.
I've been thinking about it from time to time.
Yep. Okay, so, Joyce, we're putting a couple of things off for when I'm waiting for figures from Tim on Riverfront Place, unless he's he's going to put them in his agenda when he comes up, under
Riverfront
IT.
Place, under IT?
I asked him for some figures for cameras before the meeting. I haven't gotten them.
I know he's down there working on budget stuff right now for tonight.
He had some prices that came back, cameras, and then we talked about the newer cameras, the digital and the Ethernet, should replace 2 of the analogs, because the analogs
Yeah.
are in prime locations. And the Ethernets would be in primarily locations where they're not going to be real close, except for one of them. I take that back.
My thing is
If you put your back to the west towards the
erase
Black Swan
something.
Inn,
I don't
we've
know
always
what I
wanted
can
a
erase.
camera that would capture
Your
under the
things.
pavilion, the 4 picnic tables and the board, the message board, because we have a lot of vandalism that takes place there, a ton of vandalism.
Tell me the camera that faces that.
He's going to come up.
We have cameras that take different pictures of it, but we don't have one camera so that you can go on and look and go, okay, and you're looking at everything that's taking place, because I've gone online and looked, and I've got 20 kids in there running on top of picnic tables, and et cetera, et cetera. So he's going to include the labor for switching those around as well.
Tim's coming up to talk about it. He doesn't have anything printed out because he's working on other things, but he is going to come up and talk to us about it right now.
And hopefully he'll address a little bit the camera that we're proposing to put on Town Hall that's going to help the PD as well as the health officer.
That looks like it covers it, but I don't know.
How are the roads, John? Are they dry or slippery?
No, they're completely dry. It's not bad out. Sunset.
Excellent.
I wanted him to go back.
He'll put it on there.
All right, we're waiting for Tim to come up, and you might be walking up with him soon.
Joyce, how are we doing on the ADA space on Mechanic Street?
I was going to report that Dennis has been made aware of it, and I've given him the information, but he hasn't done anything.
What? What about the ADA?
Handicaps parking, a van accessible parking.
Don't we need to
We have to,
discuss this?
we did.
We did.
Oh, I was not here that night.
All parking lots have to have at least one.
Joel, it was last week.
1 to 25, I believe.
I don't recall
That's
that
what we
We were
want.
talking about it
being...
You weren't here last
2 weeks
week.
ago.
Is he
I don't
aware that a
recall that at all.
handicapped person has moved in over there
At
and
all.
has made the request? Or
No, he's not aware of that.
didn't make the request, pointed out to us, to me, that we were in non-compliance of the ADA regulation.
No, I told him that the board had discussed this, and not only do they want one
Thank you.
Oh, this isn't for this.
made at Mechanic Street, but to also
This is for
check our
something
other
else.
parking lots and make sure that we're in compliance. I think it was Arthur said that there is a handicap space over at the post office.
Oh, good. But it has to be van accessible.
And I told him van accessible.
Yeah.
Cover it all.
Okay.
Okay, so in order to add cameras at Riverfront Park, there's 2 options. One is what's called a bullet camera,
I think.
which looks like this, the bullet camera.
Yeah.
You've probably seen these before.
Oh, yeah.
And they typically have to sit up a little higher than other cameras that are encased in, tamper-proof casing like this.
That's what we have.
So this type of camera is more expensive for the same
Oh,
lens.
of course.
And they're IR, infrared. And the idea would be to put one of these at the,
I'm interrupting you. I
Yes.
heard infrared. Are they both infrared?
They are, yes, yeah. But with the dome, there's a little bit of ghosting with the dome because of the fact that it's coming from within, so it's not quite as good as the bullet camera. But this camera, the one potential place to put this would be underneath the pavilion area, closest to the flagpole, facing into the, the picnic benches and the, the message board, thank you. So that's one option. That particular camera is $998. It's a 3-megapixel. It has 60-degree view field and the IR illumination, as I mentioned. This camera is $340. You can get it with a different lens. On this is...
These are both digital, right?
They're all, yes. These are both digital, yes.
What about the resolution on one to the other?
They're both 3-megapixel.
Okay.
And I have a megapixel chart here that shows you how far away you can capture things. But essentially, it depends on the field of vision that you want, how far you want to be able to get the resolution. So the further away you go, the narrower the field of vision you have because you're focusing in on something, further away. So were we to put a bullet camera up on the roof area, facing out towards the street and entrance of Riverfront Park, it could actually capture license plates. It's that fine a detail.
For the bullet?
For the bullet, that's correct. You're not going to get the same type of thing with the dome camera, but the dome is, for lack of a better term, bulletproof, from vandals, within reach of the thing. These are more susceptible to damage, if it's within reach, because it's sitting on an arm, basically, the bullet cameras. So typically, they're up higher. Now, these prices don't include the installation. And
what is the recommendation of the Mango, the professionals?
The bullet camera, it sounds like the bullet would be best used facing towards, any area out from the pavilion, and that the dome cameras would be best, for underneath, and close in. So.
Why is that?
It's,
From what you described, the bullet camera seems to do it all.
It will.
It's going to be crisper, clearer. It certainly has the distance covered.
It's just the protection of the camera itself.
Get some more.
So
if
we
you,
mounted it up into the ceiling of the pavilion, it's certainly out of arm's reach.
it's very possible. There are other possibilities to it, but as the cameras come, one's encased and one isn't, basically.
But it seems like an exorbitant amount of money to pay the difference for a case.
Until one breaks.
It is a different camera, too, but yeah, it has to be a different size because of how it fits, that sort of thing.
I could see the Public Works Department making some type of metal device that would be between the perpetrator and the camera, that they'd have to hit first to get to the camera.
You're obstructing the view of the camera, though.
No, if the camera's here, and the thing sits down here,
Right.
just back from the lens.
You could do it.
Well, if there's
you
as
couldn't
ingenious as squirrels are, I've tried making metal things to keep squirrels out of bird feeders. I haven't had much success. But in any event, those are the two options. So depending upon where you want the cameras, those are the prices. The installation charges would range anywhere from about 2 hours of work on up, depending upon how much they had to do. We ran, I should say, the Parks Commission ran conduit the last time there were some changes there. So there are some runs that we can make use of to go right back to the room. There are other little incidental things that we need. There's something called an injector so we get the power through the Ethernet cable itself. So rather than having a power cable and an Ethernet cable going back, that's about $25 or $30 that would sit within the room itself, So, and that would be for each camera. So you're looking at somewhere in the, probably realistically $800 to $1,100, $1,200 range, depending upon which camera. And-
But without installation?
No, including installation.
Oh, including installation?
Mm-hmm.
Per camera?
Per camera, yeah. And
$2,400.
And what I would think is, you might have a bullet facing out and capturing that entrance area, which is an area we really haven't had access to. And then another bullet facing down towards the fishing pier area.
Which is needed.
Which is needed, and of course, keep in mind, we're limited because of having other cameras looking out because of the trees. The canopies of the trees obstruct a lot of views out from the pavilion now. So at some point, I know there's some talk about moving or removing or trimming, trees, and so it might be that down the road you want to add even more. And the system that we have there is capable of adding, I think, 24 more cameras to it, if we wanted that many. So what I would say is one in the front facing the entrance, one facing the fishing, and then if you're going to have one underneath the pavilion in that area closest to the flagpole, Catherine and I discussed this, which would look out over the message board as well. And then it would probably make sense at the same time. We've had very good success capturing images of people coming around one particular area, but we're missing the corresponding side in the other area. And so it probably makes sense when we have a better view and the higher resolution underneath that pavilion area to take one of the other analog cameras and move it so that then we have,
I think that's what's important. That's why I'm so passionate about getting this done, and to see if we have any monies that we could encumber to get this done, because I can't see going through any more vandalism. We've spent a lot of money for that park. I can't see that it goes to vandalisms. And if we have areas that are not, and they're getting wind that they're not visible with the cameras, then it's...
Well, and the other reason for having the camera facing out towards the street area is that there's going to be a sign installed this next year, and this sign is probably going to be a giant magnet for anyone wanting to, make themselves known. So by capturing that area, then you're also protecting that, because that's an investment in and of itself. Because
So do you think
it's a case with granite pillars and all that.
If we got two, and it sounds like two of the bullets is what
Two
you're-
bullets and one dome.
Two bullets
would
and one
think.
dome. Do you think that we could find the monies this year to do that?
I do.
Do you have any idea where we would find it from?
Yes, the PD wages.
Want to share? Oh, PD wages.
How much is the dome
The dome is $998.
installed?
No, that's the camera itself. The installation, it would depend, it probably wouldn't be very much for the dome, because there's already a, what do you call the runs? There's a name for that, the conduit run. But anyway, there's a runner, or I don't know what they call it. There's some name
drop?
for it, but it goes all the way out into that general vicinity. So because that's already existing, and because we would have the power coming from the room with that $30 thing, the services probably wouldn't be as large to put that in. We'd probably pay more to move an analog camera out of there and put it where we want it to be, because there isn't any existing, infrastructure for it.
Not for the analog.
Right.
There's no price on it.
I don't know what they call it.
Here's the price.
Joe?
Have these cameras resulted in a decrease in vandalism? Have they resulted in any prosecutions for
Yes.
vandalism?
Yes.
Yes.
How come we haven't made that public?
Well, the chief's
did.
given it to him in his report. We've had
Yep, and
a
I've
couple of
commented on
people.
it.
We caught the kid that did vandalism to the
Door.
door. We've caught the people sleeping there. We've caught the people, the young
Urinating
kid
on the door.
urinating on the
Fullest extent of the law, correct?
No,
We can ask the chief when he comes in.
no, they didn't.
Well,
Well,
many
if
of
we're
them,
not gonna do anything to them, why bother to put $3,600 more cameras in the park if we're not gonna, well, we know who it is, but we're not gonna do
I
anything to
I
them?
don't think that's a fair
They-
assumption. You
It
have
wasn't the
juveniles,
fullest
too.
extent of the law. They could have gone through the court process, they did not.
Right.
How come?
I don't know.
Well, some
It
might
wasn't
have,
my decision.
right, some might have ended
We
up
don't
in Yap.
have
You
a
have to
say
leave
in
that,
that.
you have to leave that up to the
Right.
chief.
Prosecutor.
Right, the prosecutor. Some could have ended up in Yap in first offense, you never know.
I don't know, it seems like we're chasing around after the horses when they're already out of the barn here. Cameras and the YAP program, how can we attack this before they become vandals? Is there a way that we can do something before they get to be vandalizing town property?
If you find that answer, that would be a godsend.
Well, I
don't know what the
understand
answer
part
to
of it
that
is the skateboard park, which they closed because they vandalized it. Part of it is the Pines Community Center. They used to have dances right here, something for young people to do so that they weren't over at the park ripping the doors off the hinges. Now, I'm not even suggesting that we have dances here, but we've got to do something, give them other options. Because in a vacuum, they apparently are going to tear stuff up. I don't know what the answer is. I wish I did. The stocks and pillories. We supply the tomatoes. Something.
There has always been a lack of entertainment or activities for that middle school, high school age student in this town.
Not back in the day, we didn't. Back when I was in school, we used to have lots of stuff to do. Lots of stuff.
Yeah. Now, there's nothing.
well,
There's just nothing. The Pines Community Center, as many times as I've asked them, and I think I ask them the same question every year, they're always working on it. And not to, they're trying, but
They don't have the
they don't
funds
have
to
a
hire
solution
the
and they don't have the
people.
funds.
They don't have, they just don't have the resources. We've got to find an answer to that, because otherwise we're going to just end up filling these 24 ports over there for cameras at $1,200 a pop, and they only go up, they don't go down.
At $56,000,
I'm
saying.
I think I broke a blood vessel, my head is pounding so hard. I'm just incredulous that I was a bad kid, all right? I was one of those kids that your mother warned you about, and your mother did warn you about me.
I didn't listen.
But, I know you didn't, but to tear stuff up like that never even occurred to me.
No, we didn't do that.
No.
We didn't.
No. And I didn't know anybody who did, really.
No, we didn't.
I don't understand how it's come to
Generation,
this.
Joe, you
Because
gotta,
you go home to this, that's why.
Something, I don't know.
yeah.
well, the other thing to keep in mind when you think about cameras at Highway, if and when a impound area is devised, we're going to need to have that under surveillance
Oh, sure.
as well.
Maybe we could lock the kids up in there. Something we just complain and whine.
Impound,
Excuse me, that's Joe Jessamine speaking, not the board.
No, that's me as a private person.
I had a question regarding the camera.
Okay.
I didn't know, Joe.
We gonna make the model and the warranty on that
I do.
information?
I have the make and models of them all, and I believe I have the warranty information downstairs. But this is
Do you
a,
want me to make copies of those for him when he gets here?
oh, sure, yeah, I didn't realize I was coming up so early. Otherwise, I would have, I can run it and bring it back up if you want. The resolution on these is really the key. It's just incredible resolution as compared to what we have now. So, 3 megapixel versus, what oh gosh, what's it? 480 by 640 is what we have now. So, it's a big, big difference.
And you feel
And
we can find the money?
I believe so. And this type of camera also gives you the ability to zoom in to the picture, to make it larger, to look at a face, to look at, a device or whatever it might be. So, and, what's that?
Live?
I think you can control the dome camera. You can control because it's a pan tilt zoom. The bullet cameras, no. Once you have to go into the
Capture the picture
software.
and zoom in and do it.
Yeah, you can capture the picture and zoom in. And that was the other difference with the dome camera. The one in case is that it is a pan tilt zoom, so you can control where it's looking, within a certain range
Remotely?
remotely.
Who are we putting a speaker in?
No speakers.
Why won't we?
We
Want to be
can.
able to say, hey, get off those tables.
Well,
I know.
it can be done.
Seriously.
It can be done. But that type of speaker should be the type recessed up into the pavilion area. And it probably would be something the Parks Commission would want to look at, putting in a small sound system under there so that when you're doing an
I
event.
want a big
or-
sound system.
Well, no, I mean, not a big deal, but something, you don't want a little PC speaker.
So when they urinate on the sign at midnight,
I
you
can
just
hear
say, hey,
Zip
can you
it up.
stop it, zip it up?
No, it'll sound like somebody's talking about, what, you want fries or cheeseburger? Fries or cheeseburger? Yeah, that's what it's going to sound like, so you need something with decent fidelity,
Right.
obviously. But yeah, you can,
But
they
nothing
do
on like a
have,
Bose level.
No, I want Bose. I definitely want Bose.
no.
Joe's having a,
Yeah,
I'm having a heart attack.
we're going to be calling EMS soon.
so I would plan definitely, if that impound is going to need something of this caliber. And the 12 millimeter gives you the longest distance, highest clarity, greatest resolution lens, but smaller field of vision. So depending upon where that area is at the highway garage.
Step back,
Well, but I mean,
electricity.
right, but depending upon how far away it is from where the camera sits, probably the 12 millimeter is going to be the best, or we may have to have somebody come and take a look and measure it and see. But at the
Bit of a ways up there.
at Riverfront though, these should
So 3.
these would be
Not
much
to
improved.
exceed, how much?
I would say not to exceed $3,300. $32, Joe? $3,300.
Half, am I hearing it?
No, I think 3 not to exceed 3,300, and I don't think it will either, because, we have that conduit in there now. And that would probably include being able to move one of those analog cameras into the other location. So 3 new, 1 moved, off the top of my head. But I can refine it with them, and if we're in agreement that 1 would face out towards where the sign and the front area is, 1 down towards the fishing pier, and then 1 facing in towards the
We have to
message
talk to
board.
the park commissioners.
Right.
Right,
To get
so,
them
I mean,
involved.
I could come in Monday and,
We're meeting Monday night.
yeah. But that's what I would think.
So I'm going to make a motion that we purchase 3 cameras, 2 bullets and a dome for the sole purpose of Riverfront Park, not to exceed $3,300 installed. Monies to come out of the 2014 PD wages.
Second.
It's not over there.
You're going to want to hear this, Al.
I'm listening.
Excuse me,
What was the motion, buddy?
would you repeat the amount?
3,300, not to exceed.
That's not moving cameras, that's just installing new.
This is for the 3.
Right.
Doing that, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
2 bullets in a dome and taking it out of the 2014 PD wages.
How much we have in there?
Hey, Pat,
Yes,
I'll be up there. I'll be up there in a second. My battery's just busted.
all right,
dead, too.
okey-doke,
Okay.
we'll wait. It's,
For the sake of discussion, I'd rather put the money into prevention instead of after the fact.
Yeah, 'cause we spend a lot of money after the fact.
And we do spend a lot of money after the fact, and we're not attacking the problem.
We need to attack the problem then.
But you know, the cameras have had an effect on the amount of vandalism since we discovered the overnight campers in the bathroom. The young person responsible for the door damage,
Toilet paper thief?
there hasn't been,
The word's gotten around more.
the word's gotten around,
So our toilet paper is staying in the restrooms.
yes.
Well,
So, while the restrooms are locked,
Yeah.
so.
The other thing to keep
Well,
in
when
mind-
they're not locked. Of course they are when it's
There was an
locked.
immediate drop-off of graffiti, bathroom issues, which seem to be prevalent. I mean, I'm knocking on wood, there hasn't been any vandalism in the park since those incidences were prosecuted the way they were prosecuted. The police were,
Now, wait a minute. If there hasn't been any incidents of vandalism, why are we talking about putting $3,600 more cameras up there?
because it only lasts for a time.
and then,
There will be more, but,
And we'll catch them, right?
But they're-
but the thing is, the
Right.
cameras will catch them,
And-
and then it'll stop again.
Also, our insurance, most of the incidents of vandalism don't reach the level of, beyond our deductible, for any kind of insurance claim. So it's things that we have to bear. So that, regardless, the costs, the town is going to bear.
There's the cost, there's the inconvenience to those taxpayers who go into the bathrooms and there's no toilet paper, as a for instance,
But-
or the door is broken, or the tables are all bent up, or the signs are all
there's
painted
people
over.
that use that, particularly in the summertime. There is a group there that go there every single day and have lunch.
Yep.
And yes, would it be an inconvenience? Yes, it would be an
You
inconvenience.
bet it would.
Because they're in wheelchairs, they're disabled, and they go there every single day for lunch. And if you go in there and all of a sudden the door's broken down and they can't use the facilities, that's
That's a
too bad.
big inconvenience.
It is.
We have cameras for that, don't we?
The other issue is we have vandalism that's taken place there, but because of the location of the vandalism, and we don't have enough cameras to capture all these areas, I have no idea who did it.
Every time you put up another camera, they change locations to do the vandalism. How long is it going to be before we have we have a camera in every section of the park?
Well, we don't need one every section of the park, it's the pavilion itself. I mean, if they cut down a tree...
Cut down trees,
Works goes
destroy the playground equipment, tip over the garbage barrels. I mean,
That
they-
stuff is minor, you pick up the garbage barrel, you put the garbage in. They've carved up one of the mahogany doors. Now, that's hundreds of dollars worth of vandalism that took them, maybe 5 minutes? They've carved graffiti, and obnoxious graffiti, into the, is it Lexan? On the passage door. Now, we didn't have any camera angle that would get that. I saw people coming, and then I had a camera that they were leaving. But I didn't have a camera angle, as I suggested, one that's facing inward, that I could actually see somebody doing the damage.
Well, and I believe
The
too,
same with the kitchen door.
and I think you have the capability through whatever prosecutorial effort you have to, be
Reimbursed, right.
reimbursed for, any.
well, hopefully, you know what I'm trying to spit out here, discretion includes reimbursement. Hopefully. Is there any way I can find out about that?
He'll be here soon.
I'll ask him.
What the Jones?
Catherine, can you note that John's actually here and not on the computer? Okay.
We have a motion out there, we haven't voted on.
Yep. I was just going to ask, is there any more concerns or?
To exceed.
additions?
Did we have a motion and a second already? or-
Oh, yeah, we're beyond
One
that.
thing is, I'd like to see what the make, model, and the warranty is on them, because that's a lot of money for a camera.
They ran copies for you, I think, John.
It's going to-
I was going to do that downstairs, but this is, oh, sorry. That's, the spec sheets are attached.
Have you looked at other different kinds of cameras?
These $340 bullet cameras are made by the same manufacturer, made to work with us, the NVR that we have
Oh, okay.
as well, same manufacturer, so. And I've seen it in action at Franklin Middle School. I've seen, the camera and seen, the resolution of it.
Disgusting.
I'm okay with this research, so.
How limited are we to the DVR we have for cameras? Or whatever the device is.
How many different
The
ones
DVR
can?
is the thing that sucks the information and stores it, right?
Yes. How limited in what
Style
respect?
of model of camera.
I believe it will take just about any Ethernet camera.
Okay, but it'll work better with its own?
I would think it would require less configuration.
I liken it to aftermarket parts for cars and vehicles. Sometimes they don't fit quite right. But they're cheaper. Okay.
Do we have a warranty?
I
'Cause these things, we keep replacing stuff that breaks down out there.
Well, we haven't had any cameras fail on us at the park. The lenses got dirty. Well, I should say the domes got dirty over, the course of 7 years, but we've not replaced any actual physical cameras, but I can find out if I thought it was on the spec sheet.
The equipment itself they've replaced,
The DVR.
the DVR, right,
It became outdated, you could no
Didn't we
longer-
fry the hard drive or something?
yeah.
Pardon?
Didn't we fry up the hard drive?
It was original PC-based system, and it had been in for almost 7 years, so.
Somebody forgot to feed the squirrel in the little wheel inside of it.
We
didn't they?
had a little bit of a heat problem in
Yeah.
there.
But it was no longer supported by,
We baked it, and, right,
Baked it.
and when it was time to try to find those parts,
Big before.
the company wasn't manufacturing anything for it anymore, the one that did.
Anything electronic, if it lasts the first 30 days, they usually last a while, but it doesn't say anything about the warranty on it.
He has the warranty
He's gonna bring
information
it up.
Well,
downstairs.
I can find out. I thought it was on the spec sheet, but maybe it's not. This was a preliminary proposal because in not knowing where we wanted to put cameras initially and not knowing at first, well, what area, how far a distance, and what kind of resolution, what kind of field of vision that we wanted, because it depends on the type of lens you get as well. So these $340 bullet cameras, these you can get with different lenses in them. They're the same price, so you can get I think it's a 4mm 6 or 12mm lens in these, and that will change the field of vision and also the distance by which it can see and get good resolution. So that's the difference in those, but, and then I believe the dome camera is I believe that's a pan-tilt zoom camera, so you have some control over that you don't with the bullet. But I'll find out the warranty information. I thought I had it, but maybe not. But again, not knowing where they were going to be also determines, what kind of services. We do need PoE injectors, power over Ethernet injectors.
No power over where they're going to put them.
Well, well,
in two locations, there probably is not. One of
yeah,
the locations there is. When the building was built, it wasn't run with conduit with the future in mind.
And you certainly don't want something somebody can unplug. You'd have to either have a 24-volt direct current, or you'd have to have this power over Ethernet. And they're about $25, $30, these things.
What the cable? Because
This,
depending on what cables there are now, the noise from the voltage will mess up the signal, so I'm going to have to replace that.
yeah, but the cables that are in there now are, I believe they're coax going to the analog cameras, so they're all shielded, and some of them are in conduit that was just put up when some of the cameras were moved. So I doubt that we're going to have any kind of interference problems from something like that. They did offer that I could get one of these bullet cameras if I wanted to take a 12 millimeter, because the distance was the thing I was most concerned with. Would we get good resolution at distance? And they offered for me to take one of them, use a laptop, and test it out, and see for myself and take snapshots. Just it wouldn't be doing a live recording, but I could take shots and blow it up and see about the resolution at a distance. So
That would be great to test before we dedicate a spot for them.
exactly, and that's what I was thinking, that I told them I would take them up on that, if this was the direction the board wanted to go. So
All right, everyone, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, Dennis is up. Do you want the other two to go downstairs? This is a non-public with Dennis. Do we want to ask Catherine and Joyce to go downstairs? That's my
Depends
question to you.
on
I think that's up to Dennis.
if Dennis wants it to.
You want them to go downstairs? Okay. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to go into non-public session as per RSA 91A:3, personnel.
Second?
Roll call vote,
Aye.
yes?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel permanently.
Second,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
thank you. I have a letter from from Jim Prescher. And it says the purpose of this correspondence is to request an update to the alternative representative of the co-op. A form is enclosed for review action. The term of your current representatives and alternates will expire on November 30th, 2014. As of this year, the co-op is now using a calendar year, so the new term for your community will run from December 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2017.
17?
That's what it
Yeah,
says.
two-year term.
Two-year term?
Two-year term,
Hey,
yeah.
December 1st, what happened to January 1st?
I don't know, but
Well,
all
because
communities,
of
They're covering
it
for
expired on the end of November.
Oh,
year.
he's overlapping.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Straighten itself.
all communities need to appoint representatives and alternates every 3 years on rotating basis in accordance with Section 4.2 of the Cooperative Agreement. So, the current joint board representative is Joe Jessamine, so I'm going to make a motion to appoint Joe Jessamine as the current joint board representative.
Yeah.
Do I hear a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain?
Joe is abstained. Now, for the current alternate, you?
We
No,
can have
no, I
two.
shouldn't.
We can have two, can't we?
I think you can have two, yes.
Yes, you can have two.
Okay, then, yeah,
Well, there's only room for one, but you asked that
Yeah,
question
yeah,
earlier,
yeah,
right?
yeah, because, now, did you talk to Arthur before?
I haven't, okay, but I will,
okay.
yeah.
Because we have appointed him as the alternate's alternate.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to talk to Jim?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to make a motion that we appoint Dennis Allen, the current alternate for the town of Tilton, to the co-op.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay, so we have Joe as the joint board representative, and then we have Dennis Allen as the current alternate, and then the alternate would be
Arthur.
Arthur
Yes,
Tomas.
yeah.
I'm also a member of the operating committee, which is the executive board thing. Now, the reason that they appointed me, and I've been on it twice now and expect to be on it again, is because even though we only have 8 votes at that table for the joint board. But the operating committee, I think there's 6 or 7 of us, and by tonnage, we're in that group. So we have more opportunity to impact the decision-making prior to the joint board, which I hate to use the word, no, I won't even use that word, but by and large, the joint board goes with the recommendations of the operating committee.
Right, yeah.
We have access to the legal and the environmental experts and stuff like that, which is how we base the decisions.
Joyce, I'm going to hand this back over to you when you come up, because the co-op, Cindy needs to sign it. We've made the motion, but you need to, it's Cindy that needs to sign it. Okay. I was hoping that the chief was going to be here. Is he on his way, or, do you know?
One other thing, what time for the parade on Saturday? The vehicle?
Excuse me. I believe the lineup, Union Sanborn, starts at 3:30.
3:30, okay.
And I believe they're going to send them out at 4:15.
Okay.
I don't have my papers. It is on the website, I believe.
Now, we're going to be bringing the trailer behind the pickup, okay? Mr. Jay Boynton will be driving the pickup in the trailer. I thought we either put some benches down on the trailer, or we could put some, I think we still have some bales of hay. Which do you prefer?
I'd rather sit on the hay.
A little warmer.
I think it is. Those benches get awful cold.
And they're steel. They are steel. Yes. They are. Yeah, it's the big benches that you see out here in the summertime.
Bales of hay.
Okay,
I want you to pay attention to the weather. Not that you don't this time of year, but
right.
because
Are there any
the
heaters that you can
forecast
put
is
in there?
not looking too
Any
It's
good.
iffy.
heaters?
Just kidding.
No.
Well, snow isn't
better
going to
dress up a
stop
little
us.
warm.
Or somebody
He'd be riding in the front seat with Jay.
I believe.
I think his wife is,
doing it.
I
you know,
believe
tell Jane,
they're calling for rain all day.
Saturday.
Yes.
It's supposed to be in the 40s, so that's not going to be freezing rain. Unless the ground is cold enough.
Umbrellas, yeah, okay.
So I sent an email out to the park commissioners asking if they had a rain date.
Oh,
I wasn't there for a couple of meetings that they have. I don't know if they said a rain date.
okay,
We should find that out like ASAP, right?
well, as long as we can, someone let me know tomorrow, if it's still on or not,
Tomorrow?
yeah, for Saturday.
Oh, that's not good at all.
Change it Saturday, would you?
100%.
Wouldn't you want to change it Friday?
The only thing I got back was it's going to be a winter remix.
Oh, yeah,
Slush, oh boy.
100% chance. This thing's usually right.
at what time, though, Al?
4:30. 100% chance.
Oh, okay, I guess, yeah,
It's kind of
100%.
calling it.
yeah,
I'm just saying,
Can't put fireworks up in the rain.
No.
no,
100% chance
Joyce?
it's at 7 a.m.
I have meetings and inspection scheduled tomorrow. Will you try to make contact with Bob Hardy to find out what they're going to do for Saturday if it rains?
Yeah.
Thank you. Make sure that Dennis
and just
knows.
let me know, yeah, thank you.
There is one thing I would like to add, is that
I'll break it out for you.
kudos to the Public Works Department
Joyce.
for their exceptional work during the storms and emergencies of last week. And each and every one of your guys was like right on the job, which is a credit to you and to them as well. Also for all of your help over at Island Park. The park is looking spiffy. They've replaced the vandalism, at least as of last evening. We'll see
That
tonight.
is correct. It went up, the lights went on tonight, and they look pretty good, so
Hopefully they'll be like that
hopefully
when we
they'll
all
be like
leave
that
this
tomorrow.
evening.
Right.
I've already had people go, "Oh, yay, the lights are on." I went and talked with Glenn Smith, as a matter of fact, right after we actually strung the lights up over there, just to let him know that it was done, and he was saying that, "Oh, I wondered when you guys were going to do that. We were looking forward to it." And, oh, yeah, they're definitely all about seeing that it's lit up. And something that you probably don't know is that a great many of the lights that we purchased last year with the after Christmas sale ended up going on the big Christmas tree, because the ones that were up there were decrepit and broken, and the extension cord had failed. And so, talked with Dennis, and...
Did you talk with Arthur today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We went...
Lucky we had him.
And just, hey, you've got lights at Public Works, put the lights up on the Christmas tree,
Yeah.
because the Christmas parade is coming, and we've got no time to, where are we going to get money, and how do we wait till Thursday night, and
Right.
so,
Yeah.
a great many of those lights went on that tree.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a good call.
I think we've used probably 85% of the lights that we bought, Joe. Yeah.
On the big tree?
Between the tree and the island and the bridge and everything, yes.
And I'm here to tell you that we got 75% off, basically, on all those lights.
That's the time of my decorations.
I didn't want to take up too much time with it, but I did hear some discussion about putting a gate up or something.
We're
Yeah.
thinking
On the
gating the
bridge.
bridge so people can't, we close the island. In other words, we don't plow the bridge off.
No, we don't, no.
And I think we put a sign up that said island closed for the winter.
We usually put the one up, snow fence up, the orange stuff.
There's something we put up, I'm pretty sure that indicates that it's
I
closed.
know we've done it in the past.
We have done it, but we don't do it every year. And I think it's just previous that the last couple of years, we put the snow fence up.
I think it might be a good idea to put some up.
We can, yeah.
But we didn't make any decisions on a gate.
No, they'd have to rip it down first, Kathy. They couldn't climb over it, no.
But it's also removable if there was an emergency.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah,
Get that
yeah.
cleared.
yeah.
I'd be for the snow fence.
Yeah.
I'd throw some up, because we're
Cleared with district.
not going to go
fence
through this
enforcement.
every weekend.
We have any more of that orange fencing from Ernie's?
I'd have to look, Joe. I think,
that's ugly.
That's ugly. I mean,
That's so
Christmas lights and orange fencing?
well, I wouldn't,
Green stripes on
I
it.
don't think I'd put the fencing up until after the lights are shut off.
People might want to take a
The whole
picture or
purpose
something.
of putting the
them off the
gate
island.
is not to steal the lights.
Well,
They might want to go out there and get
today I went by and there was a father with his two kids over there. They were standing in the gazebo, looking at the lights.
Is that what it
You
says?
know, yeah, come on, you know.
can't protect everything.
All right,
No, I think,
okay,
I think
I'd
we
rather
let it
replace
go
a few
till
light
after
bulbs
Christmas.
right now.
all right.
Well, maybe the PD can put a game camera up on the bridge, or someplace that we could capture.
Facing
They're
the
stealing
gazebo.
lights and cutting them over
Unless
that
you put
island.
it right where the lights are, then getting people on the bridge isn't going to do any good.
Yeah.
No,
Because which one stole the light bulbs? Who knows?
didn't you say there was vandalism in the gazebo?
Yeah, that's where the light bulbs
Yeah.
were stolen. yes.
Yep,
Yep.
Oh, the-
Right.
Yeah.
That's
think
been
that's
fixed.
possible?
It's been vandalized and fixed.
can we get that done? Okay. Before you leave, and Joe touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to wait for the PD to be here as well. The storm and the coordination that you had with your men and what they had to do, I don't think the public realizes what it took to get the job done, not only to plow, but you had to get out and chainsaw some trees out of the way, and you couldn't salt or sand until that was done, and the amount of branches, and then stop everything to get the generator up to the PD, and then be safe on top of all of that.
Yeah.
And with the PD as well, the coordination between everybody and the communication to keep us in the loop of what was happening, when it was happening, to get PSNH to do what they did in a timely fashion as it was done. Kudos to all of you for the work that you did on that weekend. There were a lot of people that were out of power and There was a couple of things I'm hoping that we could get and have a meeting at some point that maybe we could have done a better job at doing, but it was exceptional, what we did. And with John and I and Joe were in the thick of things, and it was amazing to see the process and what you go through. And I wish that the public knew every detail of what you had to go through to get from A to Z, because it wasn't just an ordinary weekend. And it was kudos to the highway department and to the police department for doing
And to
that.
piggyback on that just a little bit, the people at the high school, where the emergency center was, Dale Mitchell and John Dupuy and Dr. Davis were all extremely accommodating, and anything you need, whatever we can do, they really helped out a lot.
Yep. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Much
Get
appreciated.
caught up in all the tree cutting?
We've got just a little bit more tomorrow, okay?
It's amazing how much was down.
And a lot of it is real high, you know? And we can't get at it unless we stand on top of a truck, you know, and
What about over on Manville Road?
Loader.
you're high on the truck, loader, you know? But we've got a few that we've got to keep watch of and take care of, but after tomorrow, I think we'll be pretty good shape. Yeah.
I had a call, there's ice at Riverfront Park. It sounds like near the front walkway, they're concerned, but I'm thinking the rain
Yeah,
Saturday's pretty well gonna clean it up, but can you just, one of the guys just stop real quick and take a look?
Yeah, I would rather buy ice melt rather than putting salt, I think, on that,
Whatever you
on those
think.
bricks.
Whatever you think. I'm not sure
Yeah,
where it is.
yeah.
I suspect
That's all
it's in the
we'll eat those
front.
bricks. That's all we'll eat those
Oh,
bricks.
it will, definitely.
And
yeah.
if you put ice melt, you can leave it right there, and,
I could put a pail, okay?
You better put it in the maintenance room.
yeah,
I could do that, yeah, yeah.
yeah, they'll
But I'm
steal
saying-
it.
I'm saying Saturday, Catherine. I could do it Saturday. Put it in there Friday.
Whatever
and-
you think.
And sprinkle some, and then leave the rest there if you had to put some down Saturday.
I didn't get
Yeah.
a chance to go over today,
Okay,
but whatever you think. That'd be
Yeah.
great, thank you.
okay.
Excuse me,
Oh.
Mr. Allen?
I thought you were going for that.
No.
He's gonna
I'm
chop
off
your
the
hand
candy,
off.
buddy.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
thank you. Yeah, 3:30. I will let you know on Arthur, okay?
As soon as you can.
For next Thursday?
We'll
Yeah.
make some kind of arrangements accordingly.
Yeah, okay. All right, very good.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Have a good
All
night.
right, at this time, I would like to make a motion to go into non-pub as per RSA 91A:3, personnel.
Second?
Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
We're read, then I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel permanently, and as, well, I could just lump it together, and as they pertain to public safety permanently.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Chief, where are they, down in the office?
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to not renew,
It's not a renewal. They have no license, not to grant them a license.
They never had an application.
So they never had a license.
So this is a first.
we
deny-
have an application,
Deny
though.
the application?
So I'll make a motion to deny the application of the solid waste hauler license to Empire Recycling LLC, 36 Sterling Road, Billerica.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. I made a motion to deny. Okay, good. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We'll have Joyce send them.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
would it be appropriate to send a notice to the
Yep.
incinerator, the Wheelabrator incinerator?
Right here.
Oh, it's on the bottom of it?
You should notify DJs as well.
Right, it's right here, too.
Yeah.
One second.
So Concord Regional Solid Waste and Recovery will be notified, Wheelabrator will be notified, and the customer will be notified, and also Chief of Police and Director of Public Works, that they are no longer
There's no tape.
allowed to haul in Tilton.
Empire,
Yep.
yeah.
As soon
It's
as
now
we,
official.
as soon as we sign the original letter, then you'll have it.
We'll get a copy. Will you get a copy too? Okay.
Because it's, BJ's is the customer. Joyce, would you mind getting the original Empire so we can sign it? The letter?
We'd like to send a copy
Okay.
of it to everybody. BJ's, the police, Empire, and the incinerator should be notified.
It's on it.
Okay. I know you told me that before, but I just want to reiterate.
All right, budget time.
Oh, no, I did my TA agenda items.
Okay, that's right.
Real quick.
Sorry, we're way behind right now. Did you bring your sleeping bag?
No, I sleep in my bed, trust me.
Did you all read the letter, Catherine?
20 minutes at a time sometimes.
I made that one change that Catherine had suggested.
is?
Roll in one side, roll out the other.
And then I had an opportunity to
Check it.
do what the past due amounts
My
are.
budget book is missing, so if you happen to see it,
Using
let me know.
was the check that we received on December 1st paid the August and September invoice and the November 6th invoice. So what I did, though, is I applied the payment to the most recent past due. So the total amount he owes us as of today is $2,069.20.
Is that in that letter as well? Please pay?
I have, in it, it says, I think I said, if you don't pay, we're going to take you to court.
Yep.
Outstanding.
After you or something.
It's a Bill Ricker.
And if
Let's see if we can get
caught 'em-
somebody to
and if we
drive 'em.
caught 'em dumping,
It's up to 1,000.
we would issue a summons for violation and give it to Chris, I guess.
$1,000
File a complaint. We do it like a dog thing.
how apropos.
I didn't know what you were going to do with it.
Because the money, we can go to small claims, but
Is this the one to
if
sign?
we catch him
Yep.
dumping,
Start with
we
you.
will, because we can do, if it's a violation for each offense,
Gladly.
we would have to file a complaint against him and pay for it, and Chris said he could help us do that.
All right, next.
So there's no problem with us applying the money to the most recent past due? Nope. Okay. And the other question then is, what do we do? Do you want me to apply the $125 fee that he paid? Return it with this saying your application has been denied?
I would return it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because one has nothing to do with the
intent
other.
was not to pay that off, and he may contest that he owes it.
Okay, so I'll return that with
We'll
this
have
other-
to, well, else fails, we'll have to take him small claims.
Right, because I didn't include that 125 in here.
Okay.
Well, we'll keep the
I didn't know if you
transactions
wanted to keep
separate.
it for aggravation. All right, is this all been signed?
I'd like to,
Or
but
is it still going around?
we'll do it.
Well, wait a minute, what's the policy? If somebody applies to the town for something, but we deny the application and
We keep
there's
the money.
a fee to apply, how does that work?
We keep the money. I have a no return policy. You send money with an application, you get denied, you don't get your money
It's
back.
silent in the regulations. You can amend your regulation.
So the code enforcement
I
office,
don't think we can make it retroactive.
Okay, we did Dennis Goodwin tax deed.
we'll
Okay,
discuss that at a future meeting.
All right, let's go, let Joyce talk and we'll get along just
I
quick.
told you I'd notified Dennis about the ADA van accessible.
Yep.
I went,
But does he understand that we were notified we were in violation? Not the Board of Selectmen, because I didn't think to tell him we're here, all of a sudden decided we needed a handicap space. We had a handicapped person come in and say, oh, by the way, you're in non-compliance with your parking lot.
okay. I went through to see what I have outstanding for selectmen's minutes that I had accepted responsibility for doing. I still have the budget meeting of 10:27 to do, which is, I can do quickly. Also on 10:30, that selectmen's meeting, we had a non-public session, and then the meeting that we just had in December. So I'm going to be responsible for getting those 3 done, and I promise I'll do them within the next week.
Tell me those items again.
10:27 budget meeting,
Yep,
10:30, 2014 non-public session,
yep,
and the special meeting that we had on December 1st.
okay.
Yeah, have to do that one if you're going to make other arrangements, but that was only a half-hour meeting. Remember, I typed them all, and then I messed it up, and I'm going to do everything in Google Drive.
Yeah.
That will teach me a lesson, so I'll be responsible for this. Okay, we did the highway department, we did the thing, we did the accidents. I was going to have a change order for Corderi for the board to sign, and I'm holding off on it because I still haven't had an opportunity to meet with Rip. And he's been out straight, he said, because there's a deadline for all these brownfields grants and the holidays and everything. I said, fine, I'll catch up with you after.
They're the ones that are, there's somebody over there working there that's going through the gate.
I haven't seen
Somebody
it.
over there measuring and...
Measuring, they're the ones that are driving huge trucks on there. They were there yesterday. And men measuring about between 11 and noon.
They're coming out yesterday when I was going to the
Right.
police station.
Huge trucks.
Two.
And then when the, 2 of them, and then there were about 4 men out there measuring, and they had shovels.
Maybe they're buried something.
And there are some
Did the
ruts.
truck have any identification on it? Yesterday was the...
Ronnie Martin, Barry Pot of Gold out there.
the state.
Well, at one time, he did have a number of vehicles parked there, remember? Okay, December 11th, Lauren will be here to talk about the Tilton School assessments and the, what's the matter? You asked us to schedule that.
Yeah, I know. I forgot about it. Our time is like, we could right now, the way our schedule is, we could start at noon and still not finish by 7.
You, the 9th, the 10th, again, laser, taser,
Yeah, the 9th.
the 9th. Sweet.
I'll be getting tasered on the 9th of December.
Oh, I was going to ask that.
Is this all signed?
Have it on my schedule.
Me too.
Next week.
All right, so anyway, I have done nothing with that because I want to wait and talk with him.
What time?
I don't know.
Oh, Catherine's not here.
The class is 11 and 12.
Awesome.
Something else.
Do 12.
When do I get tasered? Find out for a fact, so I'll be there. I don't want to miss this.
Me neither.
12 o'clock, chief.
Thursday and Friday next week.
Yeah,
Remember,
maybe Friday, because Thursday I've got a selectmen's meeting.
You said the 9th and the 10th last time we met. That's what I got down here.
Yeah, you just
You're
said the
saying
9th.
now the 12th?
11 and 12.
Make it the 11th in the morning.
Okay, but there's a selectmen's meeting that night. I don't know what this is gonna,
But I want to see it, and I'm not going to be here the 12th.
okay, all right, I'm good.
Noon?
I'll have to get the time when they're gonna be doing that part, because some of it's classroom.
You let me know.
All right, Joyce, I promise, undivided attention now.
okay, from 2 weeks ago, when we last met, I contacted Adele and told her that I gave her the dates of what we wanted to do for possible dates to set the mediation, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them. So keep it penciled in your books.
Okay.
So I'm surprised I haven't heard anything.
That's the January one?
Yep.
What date?
Oh,
Do you have it?
maybe I can tell you here.
No.
I remember the first date was Friday, and if not Friday, then Wednesday. Friday, January 9th in the morning, Second choice was Wednesday, January 7th in the morning.
The 9th, and I'm sorry, what was the other day?
January 7th. First choice was,
7th and 9th.
first choice was Friday, second choice was Wednesday,
Both in the morning.
both in the morning. I was supposed to have made the amendments to the Assistant Public Work Director job description, and I have not done that yet. This came in the mail. That's just an FYI, you don't have to do anything with that. So on December 11th, we're going to do the public hearing on the accepting the gifts.
Yes.
I thought you did it at your meeting on Monday.
We had it on the agenda on Monday, but we didn't do it because there was a question on whether we could do it in a bulk, all of them
Sure.
in a motion. We didn't know that, so we said, okay, we'll carry it to Thursday, but we didn't actually physically put it on the agenda.
Okay,
And now we have to do that.
okay, so I'll give this to Catherine, then this is for 12/11, okay? Just wanted to let you know that Dennis fixed put the sleeves on the lights up, on the fluorescent lights. The door's been fixed. Replacement tiles are done. They checked out the overhang on the front of the town hall just to make sure that everything was fastened securely, and they said everything was fine. Jay was the lucky one that got to go out there.
Nothing
was wrong.
About this over there.
Yeah, Al goes tap dancing out there, does the flags, and
Well, at our Life Safety Committee meeting, it was brought to our attention that some people felt that that overhang might not be safe.
I proved that, but then I saw Al out there, and didn't seem to be a problem.
Nothing ain't moving.
Okay, and then Jay did bring up some salt and sand buckets for out here in the town hall, but he had them in kitty litter things, and the first thing I said was they have to have lids
And they need to be labeled.
and labeled, and so he was supposed to bring them back, but
And he needs to bring you MSDS sheets for him.
for the salt.
They have to be on site.
Do you need buckets for them? Because I have buckets.
You have like pickle buckets
I
with
have-
lids, I need lids.
I
Oh,
do.
yeah. Yeah,
There does need to be material data safety sheets.
That must be yes.
okay.
I have I get the salt from pellets from BJ's, those buckets, and that with the lids on them. I have 2 of those
I'm sure they've got the sheets for the salt.
on the side.
Okay.
Do you have them on the side of
these-
those buckets? Because there
these-
should be sheets that come with the salt.
These are the stipend requests, and everything came in except sewer commission. And I saw Peter Fogg last night at the PTO meeting, and I reminded him, I said, we need those. So on the front is the request from each chairperson and who they want to have paid, and the attendance sheets have been compiled for planning and zoning. The only other items that are, it would be helpful if you had that. There's a question is on the newly appointed Budget Committee person, because they were just appointed, they've only attended 1 meeting. A request was put in for that individual, okay? And then a question came up from John for Budget and Concom, because your name was on both of those.
How do I stand on that? So it's in the budget for January, February, March. And there's we don't have an ex officio for Concom.
Well, no, ex officio, the practice has been, since I've been here in 2007, is that the Board of Selectmen, as part of their duties as Board of Selectmen, they are required to serve on certain committees, either as ex officio or because they're interested in a particular committee. The statutory committees plus, all the statutory committees get stipends. As trustees of trust funds are statutory as well. But if it was a selectman serving as an ex officio, they did not receive the stipend because they've already been compensated as being a selectman. The whole reason they're on that committee is because they are a selectman.
That's why you get the big money, John.
But in all the years that I've been a selectman, there's never been an ex officio member to the Conservation Commission, and we've never appointed a selectman to that position.
He doesn't serve as an ex officio, does he?
And he doesn't
No.
serve as a selectman.
That would be a separate
On the Conservation
thing.
Commission, how long have you been a member?
16 years
Yeah.
or more.
Yeah, that's a separate from your selectman's duties unless we make an ex officio position, which we haven't.
And if we did, that wouldn't be retroactive.
No,
And ex
no,
officios don't get paid.
no.
Ex officio select members do not get paid a stipend.
How
Nope.
can you be a selectman and be on a committee?
You can be on more than one committee. It's just,
No, it was just a thought going through my head. I'm just trying to think out
We never
loud.
addressed it.
Well, we don't have any ex officio on that committee. We have an ex officio on virtually every other town committee, as far as I know.
No, we don't have an ex officio in chat.
the only,
On what?
Chat,
technically, the only,
Well, technically, I'm the ex officio.
no,
Yes.
no.
No, we've never.
Oh, not Chad. Well, what am I then? I was a liaison. That's,
No, I take that back. You're right, a liaison, not an ex officio.
either way, I wasn't expecting money, okay?
Well, the chat doesn't get money, so
No,
you
well,
wouldn't get money.
then I'm covered. I'll get just what I expected.
Nothing.
But John's been on the thing for 16 years, and we don't have an ex officio on zoning. But if one of us had been a zoning, well, no.
You can't have
Not
an ex
zoning.
officio on zoning.
Not zoning, yeah, but even if I had been on the zoning board, I would have to resign. I mean, I would think, I would do it.
Have a selectman member to the zoning board of adjustment because it's a conflict.
Yeah,
Technically, the Conservation Commission has no power.
so they have all sorts of power. They
have
spend
lots of
money and
But you can't
enter into
decide on
contracts and
anything.
make decisions.
Yeah, they have power.
To do,
You ever read the
by
handbook?
land.
Who's deciding that park down there,
but
John?
for applications and denying, or the selectmen actually have the power.
Oh, and that stuff, sure.
They have power.
They just do
Then
recommendations.
I want all
No.
that money.
And everybody agrees with them.
I want all that money.
There are statutes that say you can
That you guys
have,
have stoked away.
what selectmen can serve on. There's, you can have only so many members of a planning board member on a conservation commission or on a zoning board. I mean, there are statutes that govern, so you don't have too many, so you're not stacking the deck.
Well, maybe we should check just to cover ourselves.
Wait, no.
But that wouldn't affect this past year because John's been serving
Well, I
diligently
think
and
what you
well.
had requested for the months that you weren't a selectman.
Yeah, well,
But-
I didn't know if, like, the budget, I didn't know if you could do, split the 300 between, somebody who just started and the couple months I was there.
Is there a precedent for that?
There's no precedent for somebody being on a committee and then becoming a selectman and then paying them for the first quarter that they were a member and not a selectman. In 6 years I've been here, that's not come up at all. And John left, and the person that took your place is getting paid a stipend. So, are they getting a full stipend? I don't know,
Yeah, I think
whatever.
That's
John
up to
left
them.
where?
No, because.
John had to step down as a
As
As a member of the
Member,
budget
but-
committee, he
and he was
became
the
the ex
ex officio,
officio. That's
correct.
right.
March, yeah.
right,
But that's not the Conservation Commission.
right.
Right.
So technically, nobody replaced John. It was,
Vacant.
right.
for-
No, it wasn't,
No,
because
it was vacant because I stepped down and he stepped into the ex officio position.
Right.
There was no ex officio, was there?
On the budget committee, we're now
I'm talking
about.
Conservation Commission.
No,
I understand
no.
budget.
We switched gears, we're talking
Oh, all
about
right.
budget, because it's never been that way. He's been a member for 16 years in the Conservation Commission. Again, it's never been
Oh, it's
come
15.
before us that on a committee where there's no ex officio or no liaison to to a committee, has it come before us that the member who's been a member was also a selectman should get paid the stipend. So we have to decide. That's basically.
I would move that we pay the stipend to John Scanlon for this past year. Going forward, it's a separate issue altogether.
For conservation?
Conservation.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and second for conservation. I have conservation right here. For John to be included in on the stipends. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Is that
So-
just for this year?
That's just for this
That's
year.
what the motion was, just for this year, so I don't have any idea what we're going to do next year.
Well, I was going to say that we need to make a decision on whether or not that's going to be an ex officio position or not, to make it fair to John whether or not he wants to continue to stay. I mean, we have to decide if we're going to allow him to still be a member receiving a stipend, or is that going to be an ex officio position? Because it is,
Yeah.
Do the budget.
we've never had anyone for
We
the
can do
con...
that after the first. Let's
All right.
get
Oh,
to
yeah,
the-
but we don't want to
get
forget
to
it.
the budget.
I don't
So
want
I
it to be
listen to your
dropped.
thoughts.
I will make a motion, here it is. I'll make a motion to accept the chairman's request for stipends for Conservation Commission, trustee of the trust funds, the Zoning Board of Adjustments, Budget Committee excluding the very new person that just started this week, and the Park Commissions.
Second. Can we amend that motion to prorate John's stipend?
That's a different motion.
Okay.
We haven't taken that one up for budget yet.
Oh, I thought you put budget in there, sorry.
Budget committee here?
I'm pretty sure you said
Yep.
budget.
But the chairman didn't put John, the chairman for budget didn't put John.
Oh, John's not on the
Scanlon.
list.
On the
Right,
list.
but he's
Okay.
the one that raised the question.
That's
Okay.
correct. So that
Okay.
would be a separate, but
Okay,
I'm in tune here.
okay. All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I'd like to make a motion to pay John a prorated stipend for the time that he spent on the Budget Committee
As a member.
as a member prior to becoming the ex officio.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, who, you said?
Without precedent.
Why?
Yeah, it's
Why are
it's
we-
unanimous.
Why are we requiring the sewer commissioners to give us their stipend request?
I have no
Elected
clue.
official.
Yeah, but we can't pay anything in payroll unless we have something in writing from someone.
Oh, so they haven't even submitted it to you
Right.
at all?
Right.
Okay.
So shouldn't that be from the
Joanna
sewer
can send it
commission?
in. I gave it to
have
Joanna, and I
funds.
said, Joanna, please
We
give
pay
this
the
to the
funds. They pay
selectmen.
us
Please
back.
remind the selectmen that
Oh.
we're doing stipends,
Okay,
and
I get
have
it.
them, give us the okay to pay it.
Okay, I get it.
Well, he doesn't need approval from the Board of Selectmen to pay the stipends.
No, but we pay it.
Hanging out
There
of our
has to be
payroll.
something.
That would be like, somebody can just slide in and, here, cut me a
But that's
check.
only because of, in my opinion, the hinky way the sewer monies are going.
All right, so let's go, let's just go with, we'll get back in touch with sewer and we'll square that away.
All right, so,
Let's just move on.
I'm sorry, because there was a lot of discussion. So your motion was prorating for Concom and Budget Committee?
No, just the
No,
budget
budget.
committee.
Just the Budget Committee?
To pay the entire
He
stipend.
already
for
made the
Concom.
motion for Concom already.
Two separate things.
Okay. Okay. Just want to be clear. Okay, and you have a couple things to sign here. This is our transmittal form for our health insurance. I'll have the transmittal form, I hope to have it tonight, on the short-term and the long-term disability. That's going to start February 1st. So I have to notify our insurance company Also, I want to make sure that we can get all of the certificates and all the information to all our employees, because we'll need to get their beneficiary information back in time so that we can be ready to go on February 1st. Nice, smooth transition. So we will have another transmittal for that. But this is for medical and dental, and they don't put enough signature lines, so you could overlook that and sign it. And then this is the town, what allows us to pay employees, give them a pre-tax deduction on their medical insurance, and also to allow them to purchase medical insurance, is we have to have an IRS-approved flexible benefits plan. There's lots of things in a flexible benefits plan, but the only thing we have elected is the premium co-payment pre-tax deduction on our health insurance and dental insurance, and we approve a health insurance buyout for just medical. We don't have a flexible spending plan, we don't have anything like that.
They can't do the buyout on dental?
We could, if you elected that,
Just the way things are now.
the way things are now. And
Didn't mean to cause
And
any
the
trouble.
reason we have to sign a new one is because the Health Trust manages this plan for us. What gives us our credibility. But because they've gone through their changeover and that now they're a standalone, all their documents have to be Health Trust, not LGC. So I just need the board to sign. And this one, I was able to do signature lines because they sent it to me in a Word doc. And hopefully next week I'll have the one for the health insurance, short-term and long-term life and accident insurance. This was the grant documents that we had, and I need your signature on that. Cannon Bridge, my note said that we were going to decide on December 4th when you wanted to meet with Northfield.
You mean when Northfield wants to meet with us?
When
I haven't had
Northfield
a
wants-
chance to look at the documents. I don't know about anybody else.
Okay, so you want to postpone this decision for another week?
That was just me. What about everybody else?
Another year.
What, for the bridge?
Oh, I'm just saying.
I believe that we looked at the bid documents that said 90 days.
Is that right?
They have to hold their price for 90 days.
Well, we're not dragging this out, are we?
No, we're just in the middle of budgeting.
As they are, I'm sure.
What about the 18th? We will have already put in our budget by then to the Budget Committee.
That's them coming to us on a Thursday.
Oh, what, did they want us to go to them?
We already
Well,
tried that.
preferably, or they could come here, but preferably on a Monday or Tuesday, because one of their board members travels outside of town, and he usually leaves on Wednesday.
How many times we've tried to go over there? How many times?
Yeah, but we got to get the job done now.
I'm just saying.
I know, I get it.
We go over there a lot.
An
Well,
awful lot.
they could come over here on a Monday or Tuesday.
It's up to the board. Do you want to meet on the 22nd?
Any time they want to meet, I'm more than willing.
I'm putting in for it.
Al needs to sign that.
I'm denying it.
Sure.
You can if you want.
I'd just love to have another meeting. But we won't have one that week anyway, so that,
they do
you know what,
7
that's
o'clock?
okay with me.
Well, what
We're
about
just-
the 15th?
we're-
Want to
No,
do the
that's
15th?
fine, because we're just moving Thursday's meeting to Monday.
15's.
Whoa, you mean,
So if we have it on the 22nd, we're not going to have a meeting on the 25th,
Right.
so,
yeah,
yeah.
but that means we'll put everything else in it.
It's not like an extra meeting, so I don't mind meeting on the 22nd.
Do a couple more things at a
All
time.
right, so that's when we'll,
That's just me.
Okay.
Time.
All right, so, 22nd?
No, it's
Yeah.
Cannon Bridge. If they'll come over at 1, go ahead.
22nd.
Cannon Bridge.
I don't have my calendar. Is that a Monday or a Tuesday?
That's a Monday.
Monday, okay, so,
And that's
5 o'clock.
Northfield?
John needs to be here.
That's in Northfield?
I'll let you know, maybe they'll come over here.
No, they're gonna
No,
come
there's
over
only
here.
3 of them. Ask them to come over here.
They're coming over here.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
All right, so December 26th, 5 o'clock,
26th?
22nd.
22nd, 5 o'clock. I gotta put my glasses back on. Good, next.
Okay, and the one last thing before we go into budget is, I would like to have Brian come do our
6 o'clock?
heating system on this year's budget.
I make a motion to do that.
I will second that motion.
I'm freezing right now.
Do what?
Get the heat up back here,
It's not as cold as it used to.
What does that require?
Or-
$2,300.
Yeah, okay.
Just saying.
Did we
You'll
ask
get it
for
running.
Didn't we ask for some information on that? What that
Yes.
involved?
Yes, he made his estimate high because he didn't know exactly how much time it was going to take him. It's labor intensive. He knows that there's an intake pipe and there's an outtake pipe. He couldn't locate the pipes, but you located the pipes, but those may not be the pipes. There is a zone down there.
Hilarious.
Why don't we just
But he doesn't
close
know
the
if that's the zone that goes to those pipes, so he'll have to test that. If it is
Good
the
last
zone that goes with that, then the zone may not work, so he may have to replace the zone, and he also has to do a compression test. There's another piece in there that may not fit, so he'd have to do that. And then it's just a matter of, he said he wouldn't have to go underneath the stage, and there is a chase
Re-loop it.
pipe that he could re-loop it. So it's just, to give you an estimate right now how much time it would take, he doesn't know because he's got to get in there and see what's going, but he said he'll get it working, and that's why he estimated high. So we can do time and materials, and we can do a not to exceed. But once he gets in there, we'll know, he'll know how much time it's going to take him and what pieces he's going to have
Makes
to
sense.
purchase, so.
If we make it not to exceed $2,200, I guarantee you it's going to be at least $2,200.
$2,350.
2,350?
That was the quote he gave us, to connect heating loop on the stage.
I bet you that's how high it's going to be when it comes in.
Maybe not.
Stop wearing a hat from now on, 'cause I can feel it right here in the back of my head.
Put on the
It's still
sweatshirt.
cold. It's better than it was, but boy, it's still cold.
We've got a motion and a second.
Yes,
For the sake of the frozen pipes,
All those
I don't
in
want to see
favor?
any pipes freeze.
Yes.
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 John?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
No,
Because if
you
it
didn't
was
print
just
out
for
new
me,
ones.
I'd
We're
say
working
no.
off version 3.
I live in a 50 degree.
No, we have new ones.
40 degree.
I didn't-
1204.
We're working off
Yeah,
version
electric
1.4.
blanket, I can see my breath on the coldest days.
I like it that way.
And the other thing is, again,
all
I
about
have to be at the school at 8:30 to pick up my son.
Let's bang it. Let's go.
I forgot about
All right,
recording.
Why
Mr. Pierce.
why don't we do, no, I don't think we can get through finance, admin, and IT in an hour.
Well, why don't you do finance?
So
and-
why don't we do admin next week, and we'll do finance and IT?
We're gonna get that done in an hour.
Yep.
Or do you want to just do IT for right now, and then we'll do, I think IT is going to be the biggest decision-making one.
Probably. Finance should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Let's do finance.
You wanna do finance?
Yeah, let's do the easy one. I love the easy ones.
The easy ones, okay. So
Done.
if you take your
I agree.
1.4 report and you go to page 6, you'll see the finance budget. And I also provided you...
Too much paper. I-
All right, and then I also provided you with a debt schedule, so, which you've had before, it hasn't changed, but just in case you wanted to see that. So anyway, what we have here, I didn't have any figures from the budget committee for budget committee expense, but there hasn't been any spent so far this year. That's in case they have to advertise, anything that they would want to have printed or
Spiral,
mailers or
spiral notebooks.
what have you, yep. And occasionally there'll be mailing expense, which I think there is. I have to go back and take a look and make sure it gets charged to the budget
Well,
committee.
they have to do their public hearings, they have to put it,
Ads and-
Yep.
right.
So, so those things, would be in that. The audit requirements are increasing for finance professionals in towns and cities and school districts.
Back up one, you got budget committee expense.
Yes.
You did 35 and 131, and you're at 300.
Because more than likely, they haven't put anything through that, it doesn't go through me.
Well,
It happens to be in this budget.
Yeah, what they do is they only publish one legal notice for both meetings. In the past, we used to do two.
So let's knock it
Why
down.
can't we knock it down to 200?
Yeah, but does that also cover if one of them wants to go to a course or a class that costs money?
Yep, it would be just about
Training,
any
yep.
expense for the budget committee.
Well, I see in the
Cost
last,
anything down there?
Sometimes.
Some of them do,
Some of them
yes.
do.
Because
the last
They got
members, you may
training and
wish to go
dues.
down to
2
the-
years,
But I was thinking,
there's a training and dues line as well, so that's,
that's for the
separate.
finance officer.
well, that's for whoever needs training, right?
That's finance training and dues.
Never
The
mind,
budget
go.
committees is its own line.
I know before she used to buy
Don't
us all
touch his money, Joe.
the
Okay,
big
go ahead.
notebooks, and she doesn't do that anymore because.
All right, so we won't-
Laptops.
Is there any chance we're gonna actually spend $300?
We have a new, we have a brand new member.
member.
Notebooks to that.
Next year might.
And she's,
Yeah, but just the expense. Why would that expense line go up because we have a new member?
if she wanted to go to school down at LGC.
If you notice, we dropped it by $50
And I haven't
a
run
few
the ad
years
yet.
ago. But if she wants to go to any of those courses, you could easily chalk it up. And
Well,
it's,
make it
Okay.
200?
I mean, it's only going to affect the tax rate by what?
No.
I don't want to raise a
haven't-
nickel.
I haven't-
A nickel that we don't need to raise.
Not even
No,
gonna
no.
change a nickel.
We haven't
I don't wanna
transferred
raise it.
in.
Right, where's the gavel? Give me the
It's
gavel.
gonna be spent, trust me.
Finance director,
gonna
that
be
son of a
spent.
gun.
Joe, I used it.
You're gonna see numbers.
About
What
time,
Joyce was
damn it.
bringing up was that there are items that
Haven't-
were budget committee expense in preparation for the budget committee that hadn't been charged to the budget committee.
Okay.
We'll correct that.
Happy.
All right, and then it
So
should
anyway,
reflect it.
There are now requirements that Government Accounting Standards Board has that require finance professionals to do more and more of the audit checklists, and there's about a 200-page document, some of which applies, some of which doesn't, but you have to be prepared to be able to show that each one of these items is, that we're in compliance with each one of these items. It's not, it is changing dramatically, and it's probably in the right way, because it's our responsibility to make sure everything's being done right, which we do, but it's just additional requirements and things that the auditor now has to check beyond what they had been doing. So, in any event, then there's my salary, the treasurer's salary.
Back up a second. You
Wait a
said
minute.
that there's more you had to do, but we haven't increased the line, so you're telling us that the increase will be within the 17.6?
Yes, yeah. It's a...
So don't reduce it because we only spent
Oh, no,
14,968.
we haven't gotten our final...
Okay, all right, good, okay, so,
It's a shifting of work is what it is.
Okay.
And it is a different requirement for me.
Okay.
And a different requirement for them to make sure that I'm doing the different requirement.
And its salary is a 2.5%.
The difference between 14 and 15 is because of
All the
it
requirements.
was 6 months.
the merit increase.
Okay. And,
The treasurer's salary and deputy treasurer, those are the same.
Fixed.
Yep.
Prior year, technology is shown as not applicable because it has been moved in prior years.
yeah,
Then we have supplies, postage, printing, training and dues. And
Wait a minute.
I like late fees.
Postage. You're requesting $531 Is there a particular reason for that particular amount?
Well, because I look at the history of...
Take an average.
You know, what I'm spending per month, and I try to do as little mailings as possible, so, and combine things. And the ones that get me, because one of these days I'm going to figure out what our per invoice cost is. You know, once it hits our building in the mail and it travels all the way around, everybody has to touch it, it comes all the way through, a check's cut, you approve it, the treasurer comes in, signs it, it goes into an envelope, it gets a stamp, it goes out. Because occasionally we have $3.25 invoices, $2.90 invoices. And I can't
Costs more
tell
to
you
travel.
how that irritates me. Sometimes it can't be helped because that just happens to be, you know, the vendor, but that's also one of the reasons why I really got to reinforce with the department heads that when there's a small item like that, if they can use their credit card to purchase something like that, it makes much more sense.
Because we get a once-a-month bill.
We got a once-a-month bill, and if you think about all the time and
Hint, hint.
paper pushing that happens because of something small like that, it's just a process thing. Anyway, one of these days I'm going to come up with a number of what that takes. But in any event, so the postage has gone up, and I have to go back and look. Some of the budget committee mailings were in that postage line. They use the finance postage, and I just have to reconcile with Joanna to move that into the budget committee expense. I really haven't done much in terms of training and dues. I attend things that are free typically, but I would like to reserve the ability to go to a real conference.
Good man.
Will you go? You'd like to reserve the right. If you're going, then I'm saying, okay. If you're like...
to do it.
I can see the day coming.
Where do you put budget committee stipends?
That's in
The top
salary
line.
budget committee line. The top line.
I see it.
And that also includes Joanna's budget secretary wage. Moving on. Okay, so the late fees, we had done away with that line in the prior year. Debt, the principal and interest, these two lines on long-term bonds, the interest has gone down, but the principal's gone up, because if you look at any amortization schedule of a note, towards the end of the note, the interest goes down and the principal goes up. And we have one that's coming off this year, which is Northern Shores Noise Road debt. Will be retired in August of next year. And it's a small one, but if you were to look at the debt schedule, it's just one of those little anomalies. Where actually, if you combine those two lines, it's less than the combination of the two lines from last year. So, you know,
When do we retire the Noise Road?
August of next year.
Hallelujah.
And then, following that, the next debt to come off will be Riverfront Park in 2016.
Both of them.
Both the cleanup and the construction. That's correct.
Wow.
And that'll.
You can afford to buy new cameras.
That would fast. And then we have the interest on the TAN. I did increase the debt interest on the TAN. The year-to-date expense there is a little misleading for me, because the way our line of credit works is we borrow, we pay it back, and during that time of borrowing and paying back, there's a lag of, you know, the interest that we're paying during those months. Then we went through a period where, you know, we had cash and didn't have any needs, any borrowing needs, and then we're now again in a period where we had to borrow, and soon we'll be paying back that before the end of the month. So,
So the 5960 is going to increase before the end of the year.
It'll probably be about, I would think about 700, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And you think that we're going to need 13.5 next year because?
Because when we did the tax rate setting, we used a certain amount of fund balance, which at that time I said, you know, we're going to have to allow for more money for interest expense, because the rate's increasing somewhat, but then also our cash needs are going to be higher because we have less available cash to start with. So we're going to be borrowing sooner and more next year. Not a huge amount, but still, it's very difficult to tell. I mean, if we had some sort of windfall, it came in great, but if we have something that works against us, and we have increased costs, and we have cash needs, then, we've got to be prepared to be able to pay that interest expense. It's still very inexpensive.
Can't we pay off this debt, this Northern Shore debt earlier to save this $7,000 with the interest?
That's up to the sewer commissioners.
No.
It's their debt. Yeah, I know. Hinky Town, the way we deal with monies.
You did the borrowing, though.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's move on.
Could we? The question is, could we, to save that
There's no
interest?
payment penalty.
Not I'd have to look into it. I think at this point, it wouldn't, I believe that is with the bond bank, and we wouldn't be able to pay that early.
Prepayment penalty or whatever.
Particularly at the...
They want all their interest monies, that's why they give us such a low rate.
We do have some notes that there are no prepayment interest and prepayment penalties. But generally speaking, when you have a bond, the bondholders are buying that bond because they know they're going to get a certain payment stream. So if you're going to buy it out early, then, that's a problem for them. So sometimes you do have to pay a penalty to be able to get out, but if you're getting a much lower rate, so I can look into that, but I don't believe that's going to be the case here. And that pretty much concludes the finance portion.
Okay, you frightened me for a moment. That sewer debt is being paid off by fees collected from the sewer commissioners, correct? So I'm speaceless. Did we buy this from them or something?
No, remember town meeting?
Town meeting
Remember
took it
town
on.
meeting?
Silver Lake Road, Noyes Road.
Petition?
This
And
is
then they-
Northern Shores and Noyes Road.
Yeah.
And then the year after it
Oh, I
was
know it.
adopted,
Okay.
they came and tried to,
See,
and it
it's 7:45 and I'm dying over here.
All right.
You were sitting right
Next.
beside me, Catherine.
I'm dying.
You'll be all right.
That was the easy one.
Those are betterments.
Let's do this one a little bit
Those are
different.
betterment fees. Okay.
If we're gonna go through the IT one, why don't we do this? If we have a question on any of these lines, we're gonna ask you.
But the
You don't
only,
need to explain every one of them.
All right.
How's that sound?
we do have questions, though.
If you have questions, we'll ask the questions as long as you want to ask questions
so
on.
this will
Are
go
we
to
gonna
this.
do IT
Do
tonight?
you want to move on back to you?
Somebody shoot me.
Oh, heck, let's just give it a shot.
Were you needing to make any motions on finance, or are you going to discuss that at some point?
You don't need motions on anything.
No, we can,
No, we're
we
not
can just,
making we're going to make
we
a
can accept
motion
the
on
whole
everything.
thing.
All right, so I have in your packet two things pertaining to IT. One is the technology replacement plan, it looks like this.
Yep.
So, and then you have a information technology draft summary, and in there, you're going to have a high-end, a level funded, and then a middle plan. So let me start with what our needs and wants are.
My snore just kicked me.
We have an ongoing problem. We are Band-Aiding the phone system over at the PD. I talked to the board about this last year. We are going to have to replace that system at some point in time, and it's going to be sooner than later. It is meeting minimum requirements, and it's about 15 years old, and it is not easy to get parts. They're not expensive when you find them.
Which is this?
I'm on the high end. It's,
The first page.
That's what I got.
Under communications.
Yep, so, well, I haven't gotten to that part yet, but the big projects here are to swap the servers, which is something I've been working on this year, and we're about to do the PD server this month. And then we'll have our town hall server reconfigured and rebuilt from the PD server, and that'll be here, and they will be replicable to each other. In other words, if something happened at the PD, we could take it. It's running in a virtual environment on this. That's what the Hyper-V is, and you can take that system and put it right on our server here and actually operate the PD's software.
So even if their server goes down, the backup is the server at town hall.
Right. I mean, it's not instantaneous. It would take a few hours, but if you were to have to build a server and restore...
Don't we need fiber between the two locations to accomplish that?
What a straight man. Perfect.
And my questions go from there, but
So what this high-end plan includes is providing a framework for what the town's real technology needs are at some point in time. I think it's now, because the PD has an immediate need for a phone system, and this is a managed voice over IP system. So in other words, we don't own the equipment. We don't own any servers. We don't have to upgrade any servers. It's all owned, maintained by Fairpoint. They provide us the phones, we send them a check.
we rent the system.
And along with that, the two big things that I see out of this are that it puts the town on one phone system. So imagine, if all of our departments were in one building, how many people would you have answering the phone?
One.
Would you have 4 people?
No.
No, you'd have 1. So in a virtual phone system, where you're spread out across these locations, it's the same type of thing. You don't have to have 2 people answering the phone. Dispatch can be handling dispatch. Someone else can be handling, office calls, and then routing the call. In other words, you can back up each location without having to have the person physically in a different location to be able to do it. So it provides for better resource allocation. And then also you have not an unlimited number, but you have vast improvements over the amount of internal calling you can do, so that you're not going to be getting busy signals, you're not going to be having to dial out and dial in and take up a line on both sides.
But even if you don't get a busy signal, you're not going to get the person you talk to because they're talking on the phone. You're going to leave a message.
That's correct.
So
You
what's
might.
the difference?
You might. There may not be a difference. There may not be a difference.
And instead of having a human being answer the phone, you're going to have a non-human being saying, directing you through this whole litany
That's very possible.
of stuff
That's very possible.
until you finally get to what you want and find out it isn't.
But if somebody calls here and wants to talk...
I
to
love
the
that,
PD,
though.
Hang up and call 8207. Oh, you need to talk to the highway department. Hang up and call. And all I'm saying is that one of the benefits of this is that you don't, we have somebody that answers the phone in 2 locations, really. And we wouldn't have to. Those...
How much is this whole system going to cost us?
About $22,000. Now, that replaces the $10,116 that we're paying now in our telephone costs. And then that also gives us 50 megabits per second of bandwidth between the 2 locations, as well as that.
And they supply the fiber.
Everything. And
Now-
it's totally managed. So if I get hit by a bus, I go to work in Derry, I drop dead tomorrow, I retire, you've got a company that's managing and has the capability to manage that entire system.
So this 22,000 would reduce the 16,000, or no?
No, it's in here, and I can show you where it is in here. So these are some of the big things. Now, that's why I say this is high-end, because I know we don't have unlimited money, but we have a real problem with the phone system over there, and we have greater bandwidth needs. So,
Now, where does MetroCast and the grant fit into that, or does it?
well,
And why not?
our contact at Metro
Is gone.
Is gone.
Yep.
Right, and I've got the name of the new guy, Danny Job, and I hope to talk to him. I've talked to someone else at MetroCast about this, and really what I'd like to do is start sending them the invoices we have. We have invoices that they can pay. We just need to, get that back on track. So the cabling...
Well, for 10 grand, we should get it back on track.
Well, the cabling, and then there were two other options for the balance of that grant, which is about $6,000, and that could be either a replacement phone system for the PD, or it could be some of the hardware that we've had to...
Can that 6 grand roll over into the Fairpoint part of it?
Probably not by name.
Well, then if they just gave us the 6 grand, we could apply it to that phone system, if they'll give us the money.
They would, right.
In the past, they've given other people block grants, Franklin.
Right.
And they did what they wanted, so I
Right,
would
and
push for
We
that.
really need to press them for that, but we weren't getting very far with the...
Give me that gavel.
Contact.
All right.
But anyway, the other things that are in here are that...
That's important, Catherine.
We're moving more things to Google, and it's been very successful. The PD's using it more, we're using it more here. We have some great ideas, and we're starting to implement a method of archiving all the tax card files so that it's all searchable and shareable within the town hall, or for the selectmen, so that if you're looking for a document, you'll be able to find a document in there.
But we already have that system within the Avatar system.
No, you can't pull up a document that's in a, that's...
So you're talking beyond
Property
tax
record.
card, you're talking
Property
about
record.
all the records for that
That's-
lot.
Yep, by parcel. And,
And who's going to enter all of that into the system?
well, it's much like what we did with financial information. I decided at one point that I didn't want to spend all my time searching for things. I wanted to be able to get it in, and each time I just incorporate it into a process.
Right,
And
but
now,
that's,
as you know, it's all retrievable.
but that's going forward.
Going
Right.
forward.
So
Yeah.
that's the same thing we're
So
doing.
you're talking about just going forward with the property card
No,
files?
because I went forward. I took a point in time and I said, from here on out, everything is going to be done this way. And then I also, as time permitted, I went back and filled in a certain amount, going back to the beginning of that particular year. I think that was 2009.
Because that's a huge, huge number of records.
It is, but you have to start somewhere. We have 2,200, just under 2,200 parcels. But the idea is here, and I don't want to get too far off track, but there's some real advantages to using our technology in a way to help us find things, be less dependent upon any piece of hardware, but at the same time, have the information accessible, so that when you're looking for something, you can pull up every document on a particular PID. So, in any event, then there's going to be a redesign of the website, and then and that'll allow people to be able to post from their individual departments. But then the last thing here is the tax cards. Right now, we pay Avatar $2,191 to put 2,191 PDFs online through their little searchable thing. And it's something that if you ever want to spend a little time and talk to me about it, I'll complain about why I think it should be priced a little differently. But in any event, they are willing to sell us a piece of software that would be about $1,200 for the software that will allow me to generate these PDFs, and then I will replicate through a system that I've devised on a website that they'll be our tax cards. So we'll pay one time $1,100, $1,200 for this.
Does that mean you would be the only one that would be replicating these tax cards?
Initially, but I'll document it, and I document just about everything I do. I have instructions for. So anyway, that's the other thing. So we'll get rid of a $2,191 recurring cost by spending
That's going to
$1,200.
save us huge.
Yeah, so anyway, going down through here, the hardware, and I'll go through the hardware in a minute, but there is $4,100 of new items in the hardware. Those are the body cameras. And there's it's really difficult to talk about body cameras right now because it looks like there's going to be grant money available. This is the higher-end body camera that we have here, where you buy the camera and you own it. There's another one made by Taser, where you sort of rent it and you pay a monthly fee for it. And so it's ad infinitum, kind of thing. So there are two different models of how these are done. We put the more expensive one in of buying it outright, but obviously there's probably going to be some grant money. There's going to be other things. So that's going to be...
We don't know about the grant money because the president said he'd like to allocate that $50,000, 50,000.
50 million.
Oh, I thought it was
Or
50,000.
Tasers, or,
50,000 offices have cameras
That's not many.
when there's 500,000 offices out there.
That's not many.
But we're not waiting on the president to help us here.
Well, for grant money, I don't know,
that's
we
not-
shouldn't wait for that.
Well, but in any event, there's, just so I can go through the components of this, those are the cameras. Going down further in the software, I'll just go through these things, remind you what they are. The TriTech, that's the PD's application software, also known as IMC. There's two new items.
Has that gone up?
It has gone up. It goes up just about every year. And there are two items that the PD would like to have, one of which I think is really critical. The first one, the $1,500 for the LAN data attached to spots. This is essentially when an officer has a case, they pull something up in the state police terminal. It has the person's name, address, social security number, date of birth, all the information about their car, their license plate, their license number, all sorts of things. And then they got to turn over an IMC and enter in things about their case, like the person's name and address, their social security number, their date of birth. And of course, anytime you transpose something like that, where you're going from one to the other, mistakes are made. A social security number gets out, digits out, the date of birth is reversed, or, what have you. So what this does is, this is something where you press a button, and it feeds all that information in from spots into there. So then all they have to do is put in what the offense was and that sort of thing. Is that correct, Chief?
That's right, yeah. It's that constant duplication going from one computer terminal to the other to re-enter everything over and over again.
Which costs us time.
It costs us a lot of time. So this is really a productivity and a quality.
And errors.
This is a productivity and a quality.
Money and time.
Yeah, and I mean, think of it. It's embarrassing, if somebody's looking at one of these things and there's, obvious,
Yeah, we just read an accident.
Car
report.
colors or, VIN numbers, yeah. It happens.
Addresses,
Well, anyway,
something like that.
so that's the $1,500. There's an 18% maintenance fee that will occur. The second item...
It's $1,500, and then how much each year?
Yeah, $1,500 is the one-time fee. It's right there, which is the 18%. Second year would be $270. See it on there?
So it's every year from then on out at $270?
Right, or whatever 18%.
Until it goes up.
Then current rate is, yeah, so it will increase over time. It's an increase.
Is TriTech the only company where these things are available? I see there's three.
Yes, because they're all integrated. This is all their IMC software, so it'd be like...
But is there no
adding
other
on to-
company that provides the same?
No, there are other companies, but we have been running on it
For a long time.
And everybody else around us runs on this same
Everybody else runs the
software.
same thing. Belknap County, most of the state.
There are other states on some different products, but they're actually more money. And this is really the most cost-effective one out there.
So the cross-agency support, Chief, did you want to talk to that?
So the cross-agency piece actually brings in that information that's captured at night. So when they go to calls at night and Belknap enters it, that never makes it to our system. So this would link that together. So the stuff they enter in their IMC would backfill into ours. So there again, it's, officers wouldn't have to come off the street for 2 hours to re-enter all the information that really Belknap already entered for them.
Now, I see you've got Belknap and Northfield. That would also apply to Samerton, Belmont, Franklin. Okay.
Yeah.
Not just those two.
Right, yeah.
So the two would save a huge amount of time. It used to be kind of cost prohibitive, but it's all come down. I was actually amazed at how much it did come down.
Yeah, one time the land data alone was $5,000.
Just that one component,
one item.
and now it's down to 1,500, which I'm glad it came down.
And the thing too with the cross-agency support, 16 hours of the PD's time doesn't have a dispatcher there. So you're on Belknap County 16 hours of the day, and on weekends. So in any event, that's what that is. The next item is that Avatar utility to save the money. Then there's some desktop updates. The PD would like to have an additional spots terminal. In the past, and as you know, we went to the VPN. We installed that VPN over there, so we no longer have to pay for a fractional T1 line for spots. But at some point in time, we're going to have to start paying maintenance for our existing spots terminals. The state's paying for it. The chief's on a committee to figure out how municipalities are going to share this cost. But if we want to add any new ones, we have to buy it directly from the company that makes the spots terminal.
How many do we have now?
We have 3 now. We have 2 in the detectives and 1 at dispatch. So the license is $872, and the maintenance is $171 a year. The idea is...
Why do we have 2 in the detectives? I mean, that's a really small room.
Because they're each working on cases, so while they're working on cases, and this is where that component that Tim talked about, the spots interface, they're sitting there, they're pulling up suspects on these cases right in front of them, but they're doing it through spots. So they're going outside of our internal network to see who these suspects are. And if they didn't each have one, it would be like, hey, can you get up? I need to do this. I need to run this guy. And so they're running numerous suspects a day, but they're doing it separately. The one Tim's talking about would be for the patrol room. And so they would essentially be able to do their own for their own.
Yeah, they're all now full spots certified.
Yeah.
Right. So, and either I've heard the patrol room or booking, whichever.
Right.
But in any case, that's what that one is.
Tim, I had a question
Yeah.
on that. How many licenses do we have now? We've got 3.
We have 3 currently.
Don't you just sign them out of the server as opposed to assign them to a specific machine?
No, the security surrounding the spots terminals is very heavy, so you have to have it licensed per machine, and it's a very involved process where you've got to work with the state police technology group, and it's licensed for that one particular machine. You can't run it just anywhere. So, yeah, that's just the nature of it. We have to maintain, for auditing purposes, there's a whole manual that we have to maintain to show that we're in compliance if the FBI ever came in to audit us. And that's something we keep a network map. We keep all kinds of documentation on security. So not just technology security, but also physical security because of the access and the information. Then we have, let's see, the security software, that is Trend Micro. Those are Trend Micro licenses.
So you're telling me that for $980, we have security software in every computer in the town?
This is for the this is primarily for the PD.
What about the rest?
We have security software on every single system.
So, security software, yeah, okay, but for $980?
The license at the PD is different. This is the PD's license.
Doesn't say PD. Where's the rest of it?
I prefer not to say what I use.
Yeah, I can understand that, but where's the rest of the money?
It does not cost us anything. What we pay for at Town Hall, we have a grandfathered license that is continually updated.
Outstanding.
Much like our Google grandfathered thing in Town
Yep,
Hall.
okay.
So, and the only reason I don't want to say what it is, I just don't want anybody to try to find a way to get in.
Nope, I understand.
But in any event, but the security software at the PD, that's maintaining the same manufacturer of software that we've had, and, continuing that on.
And you haven't had any security breaches on your computer system?
Only invited ones.
Well,
Yeah, okay, well, I'm talking about outside threats, hacking.
in the past, there had been, yeah.
Attempts.
That's when we also maintained a web server there, so we got rid of the web server, and that's offloaded. That was one of the first things I did, was to get that out of there.
So tell me we're secure now over there.
I believe we are, yes.
All right.
We have-
If you look at what
very
it
secure-
if you look at what it's catching every day,
Yep,
it's
yep.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Really?
and
Oh, yeah.
our,
You should see the list.
the VPN firewall that we have is
Yep.
very commercially reliable,
Yep.
higher end.
Top,
firewall.
yeah, we need, top
And
of the
we're
line.
getting one of those for here. I'm very impressed with it.
Good.
So in any event, let's see, where were we? So then we're down to Windows Server 2012 Data Center Edition. That's to have the same license here as what we have at the PD, that's the Hyper-V, so that we can share virtual environments between the two facilities. That's a one-time fee. Desktop miscellaneous utilities software, there are things people need from time to time. I've had to buy Acrobat licenses, I've had to buy little utility things, and upgrades. Avatar Tax Collect, that is obviously what our...
We don't have to go through the avatars, because we know what those
So
are.
you know what those are. And then Harris Smart Accounting, that's
Yes.
the accounting system that we use. Under services, we have Google Apps. Now, that's budgeted for the entire town, but currently we're only paying for the PD. We're still using the grandfathered license here, and we'll continue to as long as we can. The next...
We don't, do you want them to go line by line?
No, I said if we have questions, we'd ask.
The alert Tilton system, is that going to cost us $4,000 a year?
Yes, it does. And you'll see in the next case, in one of the cases where you had requested that a level fund, so I did one of these scenarios, level fund, and I'm not going to go through each and every item, I'm just going to show you the differences, but, and I can't say that there's really anything other in there. The thing that I really need to be able to rely on those miscellaneous services slash other, that $5,000, that's for me to access an outside services company, and I've used them from time to time, and I want them to be able to be your backup for the servers. The PCs, the workstations aren't as big a deal. The people that can do those are much more, out there, but you want somebody that's really server competent, and we've got a good company that we're working with, and
What's the name of the company?
Cybertron. So I don't want to cut that out. The rest, the telephone expense, cellular communications, toner. I don't have much control over the toner. The things that irritate me are when we print things that in color or are for outside purposes, somewhat related to the town. That occasionally happens. But I really don't have any control over what that is. My only control is to not purchase toner. And occasionally I've done that and told people that, well, sorry, but we can't, I can't replenish that until next month. And I've done that once at the PD, and I've done that once here. Because we were running out of money. We don't use any remanufactured cartridges. And then the last thing I just want to point out, the bandwidth and the telephone costs, the $12,684 and the $10,116. That $10,116 in communications, that's what our current run rate is for our telephone lines. And the bandwidth, that bandwidth cost plus the telephone cost is what an entire phone system would be, plus all the bandwidth needed for it. So that's how it's put in there. So moving on to the next one, level funded. All right, so what do we do if we don't want to spend any more money than last year? So I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but the body cameras are still in there. The spots fill-in thing is still there, but not the cross-agency support. I've cut down other things, cut down software, cut down some of the security, and I have a way of doing that. It's not preferred, but, I can get that done. Avatar is the same. You come down, I've taken out Alert Tilton, and I would be searching for a way to provide that service. But that's taking out 4,000. Everything else remains about pretty much the same, and that would be a level fund. I do have some money for bandwidth, but not a lot, and that would be doing the same. There's no addressing our phone system at the PD, and that would be increasing our bandwidth currently from 512K up 18 or 10 megs down to 1 meg up, 18 megs down. So that's the level funded version, and then the last version is the middle. And I really didn't know what to call this. Maybe this is the desired one, but this is somewhat in between the two, and represents about a 9,000 decrease from the high end. Everything is back in software, so you have the cross-agency support. You have Alert Tilton back in there. We have some additional monies for bandwidth, but not the full amount. And it's still relying on me to do this tax card thing, which I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do successfully. And I'll try to work out with Avatar if and when we purchase the utility that if it doesn't work, I can use that credit towards putting them online.
Is there a way of getting Ari involved in that project?
He will
Maybe?
be.
Yeah,
He will
all
be,
right,
but it's very possible. We work, Joyce and Daria and I work very closely together on forming any of these ideas about the organization of data, the property record files, that sort of thing. If I could direct your attention quickly to the technology replacement plan, the one that looks like this. So this is just a census.
Can I ask a question before we leave this? Information technology summary budget, what is 68.535? Because it was interesting to me how that one just was the one that got picked on and dropped and dropped and dropped. What is it?
Services?
68.535, what is that? Just briefly.
That's 68.535 is the count.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
but what does that represent, services?
If you go down to the section that says services on the next page, over, and
Google Apps and so forth?
it's all listed there. And then there's a subtotal, and that total is at the top.
Okay,
So in other
I'm
words-
sorry, maybe I'm tired and I don't get it, but I don't get it.
So under the summary section here.
It's on the back.
See all the items listed here, hardware, software, services, communication. and
I just want to know that one services.
Then
Yep.
what follows that, well, what's in there is Google Apps, bandwidth, Avatar, Acorn, which is maintenance on Acorn, Cloud Storage.
For God's sakes, okay, that's enough.
She's getting tired.
I am so tired, I got it.
Okay, so this, what you've requested is the middle.
So what I put into the budget is the middle one, although I really would like to make an argument, a strong argument for the high end, but
I would agree with you.
but I,
I will be looking at this. There'll be no decision coming out of my mouth
Yeah, but
tonight.
we want carpeting this year.
so in the technology replacement plan, we have 44 systems that I support between servers, desktops, laptops, not to mention 23 printers, 35 monitors, so on and so forth. So I have been able to, in 2014, I purchased a lot of off-lease systems at a deep discount that are very suitable for the town. I just purchased 3 this morning. for a net cost of $199 a piece. i3 machines for Windows 7 Professional. And so these
Are these machines like hot? $199 a piece?
well, they're off lease from Dell Financial Services.
Oh, I see.
And they're appropriately sized.
Well, I read it.
And there's 40% off right now. So,
Wants to read it.
Yeah.
at $199, you really can't go wrong.
I want one.
And much like what John said earlier, they don't come with long warranties like the other ones that I was buying, but it has a 100-day warranty. And if it works during the 100-day warranty, it's going to probably continue working. It's something.
And $200 is almost disposable.
Almost. And I used to be able to buy.
Sad to say,
Dell
but
outlet for about $300, but now the minimum that they seem to be pricing that is in the $400s. So this is much better.
That comes with the operating system, everything. It's more.
Windows 7.
Software.
Oh, I know.
If you buy Windows itself,
The software is more than that,
like
yeah.
100 and
And
something.
these are in A condition. These are the best condition I have seen.
Can you get more of those?
I can, yeah. But
Oh,
No,
at
no.
a laptop. Well, anyway, so I've listed out the census of things, and there are some things on here. There's $500 towards a dispatch system that would be in the EOC, and the chief and I discussed that there may be grant monies available for that. There's a firewall for the town hall, which mirrors the firewall that's at the PD, which will better protect us. So, I mean, I'd be happy to answer any questions on any of the detail of those things, but I do keep a census. I then run a little model that says, every so often we should be spending this much in printers, this much in monitors, this much, And I was also able to buy 4 monitors for $47 a piece on Black Friday. And I was able to buy a laptop for one of the detectives that was in dire need for some equipment that they use, and got a really nice laptop very inexpensively. So we're trying to purchase things, as best we can. And
Next thing you know, we'll be right up in the 20th century.
well, we're
Pretty close to it now.
the bandwidth and phones,
Hopefully, we hit the 21st century any day.
You have to think
That's what we're in.
You really have to consider things differently. If you're thinking about, if we were all in one big building, we would have things a little bit differently organized. And yet, with technology, you can virtually be in that one big building. You just can't walk from one office to the other.
It does away with humanity.
If we had a life safety building, we could have done that. I'm just saying.
When you, are you going to be available the first of the week? So if we have questions or tomorrow on this?
A bad joke.
Because I have some questions, but I don't want to take up the board's time, because I know they're exhausted.
No, and I know,
Not me.
I put a lot on you guys.
Well, that's,
Just put that all together this afternoon?
No, I've had that.
Which do you recommend is best suits our needs?
What do you think?
How much higher is the high end over the
$1,000.
9?
I do.
9?
Well, I think it's 9,000, yeah.
yeah, but think about what we're not getting for $9,000.
Yeah,
Just
no,
amazing.
the bandwidth alone. That's an important thing. I would really like to pursue the MetroCast thing.
It's 50 megabits per second that we'll be sharing between all the locations.
Megabit.
I thank you for your budget and your
Sort of
time
like
and your
alphabets,
patience,
but-
because we didn't really afford you an honest
No, happy,
time to do it.
no, and I know this is the kind of thing that, you need to look here and all over, and so I'll be happy to do those anyway.
So questions next week, everybody, for...
Oh, sure.
Do we
If
want,
you don't get to Tim before then,
so we
and
should just
rectify them,
send them all individually?
you can send them to Tim, but, it would be nice if you copied us on them.
Yeah,
We wouldn't be
so that
sending
we'll
the same
see.
thing.
We all get the,
And I have detailed information on the high-end solution, too.
I'm curious, aren't you extremely busy this time of year? having 5 different selectmen come in and use up your time is going to be
And spending Black
disastrous for
Friday
you, isn't it?
surfing the net.
Yes,
Send
but-
an email, it's less intrusive.
He's the only employee that's allowed to surf the net on Black Friday.
That's right, that's true. I was. I did. I bought.
We got warning as soon as we walked in the door at work.
We're watching. I'm busy.
3, 4.
Cyber Monday.
I have a request.
Yes.
I've brought this up over the past 14 years, and I'm bringing it up tonight. I don't care how tired I am.
I'm blessed.
I have over on my desk, I've shown them
This
to
just
you
came in.
before, and you might want to hear this because it involves spending money. The New Hampshire Practice Series. It has been to me, I bought it before I became a selectman, that's how nuts I am. Invaluable to me, much more valuable than that set of RSAs over there, because it's an attorney's interpretation of those RSAs. It also supplies me with how it's been used, how lawyers look at the laws.
Does it also quote the RSA?
It quotes the RSA, it quotes case law. I mean, everything is there. You open it up and you look up something, you go, oh, okay, boom, boom, boom. I can go look at this if I want to know more information. There's a set of books. I don't believe we need them all. We don't need to know about family law, civil practice and procedure, real estate, wills, trust, blah, blah, blah. But the whole set, and it's really a lawyer's reference manuals, is 1,418. The books that I would suggest we purchase are, I have 3 of them over there, and it's what selectmen would read. It's volumes 13, 14, and 14A. It has to do with, it's everything a selectman wants to know about being a selectman.
Don't we have books specifically about that, though?
No,
These are much more detailed.
these are much more detailed.
Uh-huh.
The other one is the land use.
What are you looking at, Catherine?
How much?
$451 plus shipping.
That's better.
Can we get it?
We have land use and planning, and the other one is municipal taxation and road law.
I don't remember you bringing this up before, but I'll make a motion that we purchase the 3 books for $451
There's
each.
actually 5 of them.
Yep.
For $451 each.
$451 plus shipping and handling.
Plus shipping and handling.
I'll second
At the
that.
book rate.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
I have one more
Brought it
request.
up before.
We're gonna keep
Don't
them
sit.
locked up in the land use office.
No.
No.
No?
Oh, no, these are for selectmen, these are not just for land use. These are,
I was just thinking how we can keep them secure.
put them in your office.
There you go. We all have keys.
Put them in your office.
Then we can get them.
They're going to be very valuable to you.
Yep.
The roads and land
Day-to-day
use and stuff.
Activities are going to be extremely valuable.
Yeah, I could see that.
At this time, I'd like to make one more motion to go along with the Sewer Commission's recommendation of paying the annual stipend to each commissioner. I have an email that just came in from Peter Fogg.
Did they raise them or are they flat?
They're flat. It's this year's stipend, which is in the budget.
Oh. Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
We're
Move
going to
to
make it
adjourn.
complicated. I decline to vote because I don't believe we should be voting on approving the other governing body's stipends.
That actually gets paid
I
out of the
want
town
that in
of
the
Tilton.
minutes.
Mike, make note of that in the minutes.
Excellent. Move to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
God, what are you kidding?
See you at the parade!
Yes, you will.
I hope.
Actually, you'll see me at,
The rain